yesterday, VKA and Inner Circle won a combination of 3 of them. No one had that on their radar whatsoever, but job's not done. They both full find themselves in the bubble.
One thing consistent throughout day one is everyone is ready to run their mouth. Let's take a listen.
Chasing me, they're chasing me. How much? I'm dead, I'm dead. Oh my god, Clumsy! Fucking shit stain. Let us stack. Fucking farm these shitters.
Guys on top tower.
Yeah, we can swap and hold.
Yeah.
Farm these shitters, okay?
I'm telling you, these guys are not that good. Fucking shit, bro.
Anyway, that shit, nice, come on, man! Come on, baby, frère. Come on, baby. Bien joué. Wait, dead, you fucking dog shit, Lennon. Let's go, baby. Is that their anchor? We can push it.
There's a whole lot of different language, but one thing is universal. Trash talk and smells. As you see Z Smith saying, guys, we're playing for $1 million. Can we throw some deodorant on, please?
That's just stock gamer COD knowledge right there. Passion Pit does extend to Warzone, apparently.
I want to shout out to our North American team. Some of them are sponsored by Old Spice. Some of the European squads might learn about it.
Hey, we've been saying this for years since we've been going to events. We need a deodorant sponsor.
Yeah, we're going to work on that for us next year here. Taylor, we expect things to be a little bit cleaner on the stage, though. Yeah. Day one is all about getting your mistakes out of the way. What has you excited on day two?
Day two, I want to see if we have consistency from those dominant rosters, right? 100 Thieves being one of them, because they are the closest to truly challenging the likes of Falcons, along with Virtus Pro. Consistency is what I'm looking for. More importantly, I think from Inner Circle, day one was great for me. Yes, they're in 10th place, but they have a real chance to break into top 7.
I like that call out. Let's take a look here as the players are officially on their way to the arena, ready to play in the Kadia Esports Arena. There's a look at Virtus Pro, who walked away with a Game 6 victory after a quiet start. We saw Sage, Dongy, and Noob showing their true potential.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about it was at the beginning of the day, what roles were they running? We saw Dongy top water tower a couple of different times and then eventually get into the mix. This squad, though, is the one that I have my eyes on. Team Vision, one of the top average placers next to Falcons. They just need to find a win and need to find more kills to boot with it.
And I saw a tweet at like 2 a.m. It said, can we please show more Lennon today? Guys, keep your feedback coming. We love you here at EWC. We have an app as well. Follow along with all the information. And, of course, tweet us, EWC_EN. Dream Crazy from that Vision squad. FIFA, Lennon, Echo, what's the expectation? Who are you watching?
I'm going to be watching Echo. I mean, Lennon, obviously, we already know. He put up big numbers. He's a slayer. FIFA. He was a little bit worried about Resurgence because, you know, he's more of a big map player. But Echo, he's this, European IGL that has just really, took the stage of being, like, the best. And I just want to see him lead them to getting a win today.
That, of course, is our Group C competition. Over in Group A, though, we have to highlight the top dogs. Falcons are on the top of this group. The only team from Group A to walk away with a dub on day number 1. Now, Twisted Minds was able to finish in the top 8 at 7th. Everyone else on the struggle bus. Leviathan is the team I want to highlight. 20th place after day number 1. What are our expectations for the Germans? Can they pop off tonight?
They might be able to, but the question is, how well will Falcons do on day number 2? I said it best. Consistency is what we need, and consistency, I believe, is what we will get. There was a lot of questions. Would the Falcons roster come in and be as dominant as years previously? I think yesterday absolutely proved they're still on top.
Yeah, after their first 3 games, we had the interview with Ahsoka, and there was the question of, like, how do you guys feel coming in? And Ahsoka was chilling and even said that, yeah, our first 2 drops, we were just trying different stuff. Didn't work out great for them in particular. That second drop only merited them 4 kills and a 9th place finish, and then they bounce back. They do what they do normally, and wouldn't you know it, they dropped 32 kills for a win. And then they followed up by coming back later in the day and starting their second set of 3 with a win.
32 kills at that point was more than these teams had combined through 3 drops.
Yeah, and you've got your top 2 overall player leaderboard kill leaders right now in Shifty and Biffle. I mean, it's just, they're lights ahead of everyone else.
May I just say one thing?
Yes.
Is that Falcons, they probably thinking we already qualled. Let's make today weird. We saw Shifty and Biffle push to bio, which surprised Gentlemates, and I think that they have the confidence to really just to dictate who do we want to play on finals. Let's just ruin some of these other teams.
Just to put it into perspective, Falcons, 167 points on day number 1. Twisted Minds, another top 4 team, according to us, coming in, 94 points. Let's take a look at Allman's new crew as he teams up with Aiden and Z Smith. They didn't walk away with the dub. They had opportunities for multipliers, but it seemed that the early game is where they were getting some real rough times.
Without a doubt, Leviathan challenged them in Factory. Biffle also coming from Team Falcons all the way from Stronghold over to Factory to challenge them. Then you also add in Vision, who loves to make their way down from Chemical onto the Harbor side of things. They're constantly being contested. But again, for Aiden, he's used to this. This factory location has been his home for the longest time when it comes to Rebirth.
Yeah, there's a really big polarity in their results from their 6 games. The games that they didn't get dropped off the get-go and get super challenged, they finished in the top 5 with about 20-plus average kills. The games that they did get challenged, to your point, Reflections, they finished outside the top 10 with only 5-6 kills.
Right.
It's a duality they need to figure out today.
But it's not going to change, right? Because Leviathan's in their group. So it doesn't matter which other group you get paired up with. These guys are going to be in your lobby every single time today.
I believe Dandro said it best. The thing about Aiden and the squad, and they sometimes have a hard time getting things going, so I want to see them just come out firing right off the gate. They know that, okay, we are at 71 kills, but an average placement of 7. They need to bring that up.
There is the key. It is still intact, and everyone's key will remain that way until the end of day 3 when we send our first 7 teams packing. But everyone is ready to take the stage and get this party started. Twisted Minds Virtus Pro, who do you think has a better day 2?
I think it still sticks with Virtus Pro.
Yep.
They've really locked everything in terms of what roles they're running, like I mentioned from before. Dongy's still at the near top of the leaderboard when it comes to individual kills. And then you know what you're going to get out of Sage and Noobs. They're controlling tempo, they're controlling pace, they're giving Dongy the information that he needs. So really excited about Group C, mostly for Virtus Pro, but lots of proving points here, not only for Inner Circle, but teams like Vision and AGAL need to show up.
Absolutely. As we take a look deeper at Virtus Pro, there is Dongy, that is Noobs, but I was looking at Sage as a clutch player, keeping them on the map time and time again. He was also involved in a heal-off in that game number 9.
Which was absolutely crazy because it looked like 100 Thieves win for the longest, and then of course Sage was just being so annoying, just being that last player alive, finding these meticulous, crazy gas plays, but it just shows how Stims, and you guys can see a lot of those close range engagements as the Thieves VP, Noobs, you mentioned role switching. He pulled out that LC10, which really allowed them even to get to those late game moments.
And to think about Sage again, he doesn't take anything for granted. He loves to compete. He loves that he's on this stage. And for Sage, he's a champion in his own right, and he wants to be a champion once again.
Yeah, he was frustrated. He thought he should have been on a starting lineup. He was kind of sitting there watching the Falcons win in front of him. This year, he has a chance to be the Falcons' biggest opposition. If you're looking at the leaderboard, that's where they're at right now. They're in the number 2 spot. But right behind them is Vision at the 4 spot. In fact, 3 of our top 5 teams are all here in Group C. What did we see from the boys from the UK, Ellen?
I mean, the boys from the UK put on a show, right? I mean, their average placements was looking pretty good. But Lennon, right, he was just a really big factor of a lot of those eliminations. I mean, picking up so many around the chem side. But for Vision, they were just so annoying for Twisted Minds. But a lot of these clutch ups, especially that Echo had along this harbor side, was key.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about their landing spot, it seems to be pretty free-ish. Like, they're finding a couple of early battles and they're winning against lesser teams. The problem is late game. They're not putting themselves in good positions to have an advantage in the final 4 or 5 teams. A little bit, or just not reading the circle the right way and finding themselves on low ground. So I think there's a level of needing to try to work around the outskirts of the map a little bit more when you get to those final circles. Put yourself in a position to maybe gatekeep some of the teams that are causing you issues.
Well, to find a little bit more about Vision's road to Riyadh, we have an excellent piece. Let's take a look.
Hello, my name is Miles Ross. I'm here at the Esports World Cup, and I am joined by Vision, FIFA, Echo, Lennon. How are we doing, lads?
Fantastic, mate.
Fantastic.
Good. Doing great.
Feeling all right? Fellas, you've been performing great in the build-up to this tournament, but obviously the squad's changed. Echo's in here now. Can you talk a bit about that?
Well, after World Series last year in Vegas, at the nightclub after, he came up to me and was like, do you want to play? And I was like, I didn't even know if I was going to compete this year. And then a team that asked me to play ended up asking him. He went over there, and then he left them. And then I wasn't even going to play tournaments, but we kind of both saw each other, stars aligned, and like, let's just do it.
How's the dynamic been? Is there any sort of tricks you guys have found to build that chemistry or get comfortable with each other?
No, not really. I don't know.
Does it feel quite natural? Or?
It does, yeah. It's just different because I've never played on a team with 2 people that got like a lot of viewers and stuff. Yeah, I think the thing is like when football teams are like training and sports teams are training like in their facilities, they don't have fans watching. So they probably shout at each other all the time, but then if he shouts at me, then my chat don't like that. So they're annoyed at him, but it's like, you got to understand that we're trying to get better.
Boys, how would you compare yourselves to other teams here in the tournament? Is there any particular team that you're worried about, anything like that?
I think we've got a bit of an advantage in that because we're EU, we always play on bad ping. So like people don't really realize how different it's going to be. I mean, VP got a bit of a taste of it the other day.
Yeah.
Because they land in our spot and they're supposedly top 3 team, and they usually like do better than us because they're on 0 ping and we're on 150. But they flew out to Europe the other day, played the same scrim, we beat them every map. So on land, we're not really scared of anyone.
You've shown a reignited spark in competing this year.
Yeah.
What's been the driving force there, mate?
Yeah, I think last year was just, like I said, it was so miserable that I was just done with it. I was so over it, you know, so didn't really expect to go into it this year. And then obviously when the boys hit me up, I was thinking, okay, maybe. And I think that one of the biggest driving forces for me was just my chat. And then we got together, came back, and it was going really well, and they were all loving it. Every time we win, everyone's going crazy. My dad comes in with the shots.
Any shout outs any love right down the barrel of that one?
Appreciate all the support over the like past like six months of us being together as a squad.
My shed gang, my community, I appreciate you all coming through for years. I literally wouldn't be here without you, so thank you very much, and hopefully we'll do you proud this weekend.
Guys, thank you so much. I wish you the best of luck, really. This is an amazing time and a wicked opportunity for you to bring it home for Europe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
I'm Miles Ross, Demon Vision. See you in the next one.
God, I love that, Miles Ross. As we take a look at Visions, though, I heard FIFA Kill calling something out that a lot of people aren't thinking. You're on land. You're on 0 ping. They're used to playing with high ping, and he mentioned that is going to give them a big advantage today.
Without a doubt, you know, again, those EU boys, they got it tough, and they always have whenever it comes to competitive COD in general, especially Warzone. Now that you come in on 0 ping, I've heard it's like taking off the ankle weights, and they're just unleashed.
May I say, I gotta shout out Pentagon, Fuzzin, and Melvin, the German boys, because I saw Pentagon tweet this last night. Hey, Lays is having his way with Twisted Minds. Look at that ping. Maybe we could get more like local LAN tournaments, you know, because for real, like a lot of these guys, Hamoud Squad even, XO, right? They're from Saudi Arabia, but look how well they're doing. They've been sneaking under the radar, and I'm sure that'll lead us into our next conversation about
Let's see
Dark
if
Horses.
any of these teams made it into your Aramco Power Rankings. I asked you 3 analysts to put together this amazing graphic, and at the very top, I was not surprised. But it gets fun in the middle here with our Bubble Watch and Dark Horses. Go ahead, Alan, kick me off. What are we looking at?
Favorites are favorites. They should be pretty much stamping their ticket into playing in the finals, but you know, that's to be expected. The Bubble Watch is interesting because teams like ROC started hot winning the first game and then teetered off quite a bit. Twisted Minds staying in the middle of the pack did not impress as much as we would have liked, and they find themselves right there on the cusp of possibly fading down to where Movie Star Koi is, which is right on that 7th, 8th line. But my particular stories, and I know that these guys are going to tee off on it, how about the Dark Horses? VKA not supposed to be here. Inner Circle taking down Navi and APAC was a huge surprise. They're looking really strong to possibly make their way in.
It's all about getting in the top 7 here. So as you take a look at that sheet, who are you most confident in from the bubble or maybe the contenders list?
Most confident would definitely be Twisted Minds, without question. They're number 7 at the moment. I don't see them falling below 7. But if it's going to be one of our Dark Horses, Inner Circle. I've been bumping them up since the start. I'm going to continue to do so. Tommy's on their side. They're going to break in.
May I just say one thing? I think I would swap out that Fnatic squad with FaZe, just simply because FaZe had a higher average placement, 6.3. I think they're a Dark Horse team that could still potentially make it. Fnatic, they're probably a little bit too far behind.
Fnatic had 46 kills on day 1. That's not good.
But their
You
first
dropped
3
6
games,
times.
their first 3 games inspired. That I'll take the boot on this. I'm the one who wanted Fnatic in as a dark horse. They may not make it to the top 7.
Tell
but
me
I think
why they don't suck, because I'm looking at the numbers, Al, and they're number 19 of 21 teams.
Correct, but the first 3 drops were really solid for them. I don't know what happened in their second set. They think they finished what? They finished 13th, 14th, 12th, so did not do well on their drop. I have a feeling Fnatic's going to come back out today and prove a point. They may not make it to the top 7, but I think they make it to Saturday.
Shout out to one of my good friends, Karn, one of the OGs behind the Fnatic lineup. He helped them climb the club championship leaderboard last year and helped scout out this team that you're going to witness today. But speaking of players arriving on the Riyadh Boulevard, I am told that the fans are going wild, and for good reason. Fan favorites starting to pour in from all around the world. Who do you have eyes on today, Taylor?
Again, Inner Circle. Gentlemates, though, now that the crowd's officially shown up and they had the drum line, come on, I'm thinking they're going to have a little bit of an added crowd buff as far as I'm concerned.
There's 100 Thieves. You saw Twisted Minds in the mix as well, with Allman and Aiden making their way into the stage. Feel like FaZe Clan is a squad that hasn't been talked enough about and is definitely going to be on my radar, because if you were watching Drops 1 and 2, everyone on the pulse check was saying, FaZe is playing God mode. They are in the perfect positions. They're doing everything right. It wasn't working towards the end of the day. Can they right the ship? It's time to find out as we kick off day number 2 in the Qiddiya Arena.
Day 1 was just recon, testing the temperature of the room. But today, we go to war. Today, the stakes rise. Every rotation, every gunfight matters. Today, every decision you make brings you one step closer to $1 million. My name is Barney Banks, and I am your host for Call of Duty Warzone at the Esports World Cup. And yesterday, some teams made their mark, whilst others had a very severe wake-up call. But now, the real question remains, what are you going to do about it? So, let's kick things off by introducing our teams to the main stage, starting with CT Gaming. They are Extra J, King Matty, and Resolve. Inner Circle. They are Teeny, Orbs, and Bray. Novo Esports. They are Janix, Cams, and Vortex. FaZe Clan. They are Flanked, J-Tech, and Clumsy. Leviathan. They are Deki, Lays, and Stukex. Team Vision. They are Echo, Lennon, and FIFA Kill. Gentle Mates. They are Enkyo, Hello, and Gromalok. Twisted Minds. They are Aiden, Almond, and Z Smith. Fnatic. They are Patsuka, Enxion, and Zakar. All Gamers Global! They are Rated, Nate Dogg, and Scumman. XO Esports! They are Hamoud, Notorious, and Penguin. EVOS Esports! They are Robstar, Joad, and Showstopper. Virtus Pro! They are Dongy, Noobs, and Sage. 9Z Globant. They are Goodbye, Elato, and Bale. Gamax Esports. They are Tenix, Elolab, and Sucra. Movistar Koi. They are Goat Clamp, Netodds, and Volcom. VKA. They are Aizen, Vidati, and Katsu. 5 Vias. They are Scythe, Big Man, and Anxiety. 100 Thieves. They are Gabe Coon, Blast, and Skullface. ROC Esports. They are Wars, Vision, and Prodigy. And lastly, leading the charge going into day 2 of the group stage, Team Falcons. They are Shifty, Biffle, and Soka. Don't count anyone out just yet, because this is Warzone, and everything can change in a single game. Remember, every setback is a setup for a comeback. But who stands in your way? Just the best players in the world. It is time for day 2 of the group stage.
Welcome to the Players Lounge, a very exclusive location where our players get to rest, relax, and rejuvenate themselves in between playing for glory on their Esports World Cup stage. Up here, our players are allowed to basically unwind, whether it's a nice exciting game of ping pong taking place over here, or whether we go all the way over to the other side of the room where they can rest, get a bit of a FIFA game going, maybe something they're not as familiar with. Behind us over here, a photo booth, place to immortalize themselves once again, this time in a little Polaroid form. Of course, all sorts of fun props to use, but the one they're really gunning for, the one they've got to protect, the key, which is surprisingly really heavy. Whether they crush it or cherish it, slap it into a trophy, they'll be playing for that as well. Photo booth aside, we let go of the fun and we say hello to the games. Reaction Royale, a place where our pros can test their reaction speed. Not an easy thing to do. The record is currently 84. I got a 66. Over here, games to play, matches to watch, all happening live right now in Riyadh at the Esports World Cup. All a manner of pro, commentator alike, to be found out and about in the wild here in the Players Lounge. To the right, we now have the coffee station, because who doesn't love coffee? Fresh juices, fresh fruits, all manner of snacks to keep our players rocking and rolling and ready to go throughout the tournament. Last but not least, maybe the most impressive part, the Player Lounge, the Heroes Club. You're only welcome in here if you lift a trophy here at the Esports World Cup. And on that note, we're going to try to get in, but they won't let us because we haven't lifted a trophy. Maybe next year.
Well, good evening, or good morning, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome into some Call of Duty Warzone here at EWC. I'm Goj, we've got Ton here with me in the booth, and Ton, I gotta say, I am really excited about day 2, my friend.
Oh, I'm very excited. I just shook the mic off my head. I'm not excited, Coach. It's going to be a really interesting one. We kind of got our lay of the land yesterday, but we truly do get to see who the contenders are today. We're not losing anyone, but we are losing some teams for tomorrow. They will already advance to our final day on Saturday, but we have to figure out who they are and who the rest are over these next 9 games. One team in particular, though, that is going to at least have some good bagging is Gentlemates. They need it.
They certainly need it. I think the fun conversation going into day 2 is that it's the exact same as yesterday. There is a huge opportunity for some folks to make some changes, and I think Gentlemates is one of those teams that has to make some changes. Of course, the teams at the top, they've got to do pretty much all of the exact same things. Or maybe, if you're Team Falcons and you're way ahead of everybody else, Maybe the question is, what are they going to do today? They're going to get a little weird on the map. Are they going to change things up? They're going to go grief some teams they don't want to see. So let's take a look at our leaderboard and walk through all of our points and break down the stakes for today. So Ton, take it away.
I mean, realistically speaking, that top 7 is still very attainable for some of these teams. That first place, maybe not so much. Falcons all but securing themselves. But the maths that we're kind of working off right now is, what does 7th place get yesterday? That was 94.8 points from Twisted Minds. Double that for today. Everyone kind of gets their go at it again. We're sitting at around 180, 190 points. That's the threshold we think will take teams to the top 7. That then creates the conversation around some of these teams towards this bottom side. Gentlemates, Fnatic, AJL, 5 years even with their win, Base Clan.
Yeah.
How do you get to that point? It seems like Gentlemates, it's a big old day to get to that point.
Yeah, we love doing math here in the caster booth.
We love some math.
we could talk about it. I think the analyst booth really broke it down really well. That some of those teams at the bottom, they have to put up historic numbers, right? You have to play like Virtus Pro. For some teams, you have to play like the Falcons, which is nearly impossible for some of the rosters that have yet to prove that they can do that. So if you're really down in the 16th to 21st place or so, I mean, you better blow our minds, otherwise we won't be seeing you automatically into the finals and have a chance to obviously prove it in LCQs, but a fun conversation regardless.
It's going to be borderline impossible for some of the teams like Leviathan, Fnatic. They are so far away, but the caveat to that point, we see what 5 years did yesterday. They barely even turned up on the map. Won a game, all of a sudden, you're propelled up into a stratosphere where you could threaten for that top 7 if 5 years can bring that level of play again. It's Warzone. I mean, how often do we see it? We can see teams go on to win time and time again, but we can also see surprises, and that's something we can't really necessarily counter for today. Well, that is going to happen at some stage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, stats are one thing, but just about who shows up on any given day. It's Call of Duty, it's Warzone, anything can happen. I think when I'm looking at replicating a group stage and being able to perfectly replicate that in day 2. Obviously, there's some different orders from, A and C. We're starting with that group, but otherwise, you're sticking with your group, so you're going to see the same fights for the most part. I think the big question actually in my mind is whether or not some of these teams really change up their strategy. I would assume the teams at the bottom will. But what about these bubble teams? Do you think FaZe changes things up? Like the Death said, they had a pretty good start, but the second half was more than lackluster. It was pretty bad. Because of that, they're outside the bubble. The other big conversation, hey, the Falcons were soaking up so many points that the team in second in Group A is barely above the threshold. They are the threshold. And so now, when you're a Group A team and you think the Falcons maybe aren't going to play the exact same way, there might be some more room to work on that map, or maybe even more room to work in Stronghold. I don't know. There's a lot of big question marks going into our first map.
A lot of questions that will get answered very, very shortly. But I think you're right. Specifically for me, I'm looking towards these teams who are dropping in that northeast side of the map. We're talking about Bio. We're talking maybe even towards Factory. This is where some of the teams have struggled. Team Vision have done it well. They have managed to find themselves moving down towards Harbor, that kind of area. That is really where they have managed to find points. But for teams like Gentlemates, and well, for a certain amount of time, a team like Virtus Pro at a certain stage yesterday weren't getting a great deal from that side of the map. I'm curious if some of those teams are going to change it up. I mean, they have to, right? There has to be something that gives here. I'm really looking at the team on our screen now, though, in Gentlemates, and they're a team with so much promise from Europe. We know how well they've done on big map. When it does come down to Resurgence, though, there has been a couple of struggles. But now, you feel like you're at home. You have this crowd behind you. Show us what you can do. And I think that's a frustration, especially from a European point of view. Me not even chatting about it. Like, let's see what you can bring to the table. You are the promised ones. You are the princes of Europe. Sure. Show us what you can do today. I think they need to change it up. And they've got that crowd behind them.
Yeah, they definitely have the crowd energy. And I think the big conversation there is the onus of responsibility really lies actually on Inkyo's teammates. Yeah, I need Grom to kind of step up and go slay out a little bit more. Inkyo can't do it all by himself. And one of the reasons that full north kind of eastern side of the map you're talking about, Kim included, it kind of feels like a quagmire because there's just so much space taken up by teams. It's so bogged down that leaving your POI in general is very, very difficult. VP is really the only team that's been able to show us that you can leave your POI in that northeastern side. They finally went out on not only a map, but also their POI. They rotate over to Water Tower, and they basically slay out the entire lobby. Like I mentioned yesterday, I think we saw Donkey get like 16 kills as an individual on that map, and that one map propelled them up to the top.
And something I kind of want to insert into this conversation about POIs, our team's going to change it up, and come back to what we just started talking about when we came to us here. What are Falcons going to do?
Yeah.
because then that throws, very British saying incoming here for you, the cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak. This is something that teams are going to have to think about, because Falcons be thinking to themselves, right, we don't need to do a great deal today. 20 points would do them. I'd imagine they'll do that in game 1.
Yeah.
So for Falcons, what do you do, and how does that affect everybody else?
Yeah, I think Virtus Pro are beyond griefing at this point. They have enough points where even on a bad day, they could easily put up the 50, 60 they need. But some of these other teams, they're right there on the bubble. I'm looking at Twisted Minds. I mean, look, I don't know what they're going to do. I haven't talked to them about it, but if I'm the Falcons, I have one of two options. I'm either trying to grief Twisted Minds and landing in Factory instead of Stronghold to change everything up and put people on their back feet, or I land in Control and play for some of those Control teams, aka a Novo, aka 100 Thieves. I don't know. There's a lot of big questions out there. And maybe if you're a team that thinks they're going to make the finals and skip LCQs, maybe you start playing for that match point. Maybe you start playing for the win. A lot of big question marks, and I know we're about to drop into our very first map of the day, so I think a lot of our questions will be answered right here, right now in the very first map.
I'm so excited to get into this game, number one. The crowd are excited as well. Everybody cheering on their team. Falcons representation, of course, here in Riyadh. And they will be feeling very good about their chances, really, have come in and just blown expectations out the water, and that's not a light thing to say when you're talking about Falcons. But we're nearly ready to go. Day number 2 here at EWC for Warzone. Let's get into it. It's going to be a day. It's going to be a day.
Rebirth Island all day today, all day tomorrow, all day the next day. It's Rebirth Island every day of the week, and I am so pumped about our very first map of the day. Big questions. Where are people landing? How are they changing up their strategies? And who comes out on top? And frankly, who gets to skip LCQs? It's going to be a bloodbath down there. Let's drop in to our very first map of the day.
Interesting circle. We'll talk about it in a second, but we're very, very interested to see exactly what team number 1 in Falcons are going to do. That is the question mark that everyone kind of has, and I can tell you right now, it is maybe a slightly different look, if anything, but possibly not. Very much going for their tried and tested, not throwing any curveballs quite yet.
And a quick look overhead. It does look like our circle, by the way, has pulled to the northeast. So your teams up in Bio, Kim, Harbor, etc., they are going to be safe for a very long time. So this fight, a pretty important one. As per the usual, we talk about Fnatic and the Gentlemates fighting for Bio. So we're going to take a quick look at it right now to see who gets the upper hand. And well, high ground usually an advantage. Axian thought he had an angle, but I think Inkyo snuffed it out.
For Fnatic, I think the storyline around them yesterday was a surprise at how well they were doing, but the fight here that is currently ongoing. Team number 14 getting taken down. That is, of course, 9Z Globin. Axian trying to stay alive. Gunfight's coming through. Back and forth we go, but it's Enkyo and Cole. The one's trying to get something rolling. They need a good day. That's a good start from Enkyo. 3 kills already.
Yeah, you can see this APAC team, as per the usual, getting pretty mixy. They don't land in Bio, but they come swinging up pretty aggressively, trying to pick up a couple kills in transition. Teeny looking for anything to get his hands on. He was shooting so straight yesterday, but today, maybe not so much. Fight inside still ongoing as we see several kills flying in the kill feed across the map. This is a fight that will take a very long time, and frankly, it's one that will go on for maybe the entire map unless we get a full wipe. Most teams know we can't body stack with a full team of 3. We've got to put our anchor out deep into the water or wherever they need to be. So you can see Zakar way out under the boat. So we're going to swing over to Twisted Minds and see how things are going down here in the factory side. And so far, so good for a team that's right there on the bubble.
Really interested to see how quickly some of these teams do start to move. You can already see Twisted Minds are making their way over towards this harbor side. And this is a big play from them, going up against Vision. This is 2 teams who are in that top 7 already. If you can get kills up against them, you take those all day long. Aiden will find the pick, but then everybody else starting to get involved. Here comes Dongi in the VP grip.
Yes, the other classic fight we will continue to see. I don't think any of these teams are giving up POIs at this point. So VP going to continue to run into Team Vision. And of course, Twisted Minds right there down the way on the eastern side of the map. Your factory. It does look like, I want to say that actually Twisted Minds was uncontested in factory, which is a brand new strategy for Leviathan, as expected, frankly. They lost that fight many a time, so we're going to swing over to Control. This is one of the matchups, A versus C. You got to remember, Control is not that contested. We're not seeing 100 Thieves playing right now. We're not seeing Movistar Koi. It's Novo all day in Control for these first 3 maps. Watch out for that team. Feeling pretty powerful, but not a lot of kills to start things off.
Falcons starting to get a little contested down towards living quarters and stronghold as the crowd getting excited in this one. Now currently on board with Noobs, trying to have a little bit of a look here over towards this northeast side, still being fought over between Inner Circle and of course our squad in Gentlemates. What can they do? Well, they're farming them again. More kills falling their way. This has been a brilliant start for Gentlemates and they need it.
Yeah, again, this is a fight in Bio that will last until the end. Our circle is going all the way northeast, all the way up to the top. And so this POI is extremely important to actually take control of. And Inxian comes swinging in, making the Gentlemates look a little silly. Inkio having to play on the northern side, trying to get into the mix. But Fnatic, as much as we were saying they were out of it, they're having a pretty good map right now. Continuing to farm these kills as these two teams continue to trade blows. I think the big question in my mind, what's going on with Team Vision? What's going on with some of our other squads over in the bio, or in the chemical rather, area? You take a look at FaZe as well, a bubble team that's looking forward to hopefully getting out of the bottom side of prison and into zone. Already we're shifting up to the top half of the map.
And quite a big surprise actually, we don't lose any teams. It was such a big pull for a lot of these players that you think of teams such as Falcons, if anything, who over towards Stronghold have to go all the way to the northeast side of the map. You're talking Industries, Chemical Engineer, everywhere around there needs to now start to be contested. And Falcons are struggling just a little bit. One player is currently alive from them, and I presume that's Ahsoka keeping things alive, but keeping things rolling for them. Everybody's still alive and kicking, but this fight in and around bioweapons has been going on for quite some time. Fnatic trying to have another good game number one like we've seen yesterday. And Padzuka, can he be the catalyst for that?
You see the team in pink, number 6. It's going to be Resolve and Extra J, King Matty, playing the outside of this zone. Everybody knowing it's going to pull all the way to the northeast. Some folks getting ready for that, trying to find some sort of stabilization point. They know that Bio's not free. Two teams here, sandwiched amongst each other, fighting for the entire map. As the rest of these folks are rotating in nice and slow. And like you said, the fact that nobody full wiped at this point, this is a much slower start than we were used to from yesterday. Some teams feeling the pressure most likely, as Twisted Minds now hugging the right side of the map, up the eastern seaboard, looking for a couple folks floating in the water.
And this is the kind of game, and I just kind of want to go attest to that, as we can see Smith trying to find the pick onto Shifty if they can, is that when Strongholds is in a bit of an issue where in terms of where this circle does pull you, that's when they are going to hit from that Strongholds push.
Well, Twisted Minds in an interesting spot. Let's see what they're able to do here on the edge of zone. Let's go for a quick listen in with Twisted Minds and see what they can do as a bubble team.
Playing on the water kid right now. I might back up, Smith. They're gonna play me. I have you over. I have you over. He's still in the water on me right here. I'm trying to look at you. Is he in the smoke? Yeah, he's in the smoke. In the smoke right now. Needing it. I'm trying to need you. Nice. They're not here. They backed up. I think VP backed up. Yeah, they did. Okay. Yeah, we'll be able to get fight. We'll be able to pop and hold here, and we can see where we need to row. We're probably gonna have to go up prison though, just because VP is gonna kind of I think focus us. I'm not even gonna mess with the kids top prison either. Yeah. Don't even shoot at them. Keep watching for kids laying to water, by the way.
As per the usual, calm, cool, and collected, pick up Shifty in the water and are just trying to assess where do we go from here. We know we're getting held by VP, and they're exactly right. VP is still maintaining position in Chemical.
And we lose a couple of our teams who were really sitting in around the bubble. You think of AG Global, they were in a pretty decent spot. They fall quickly, and Inner Circle also dropping out. More teams who are really fighting for that top 7. Not going to be taking part in the rest of this game, going out 13th and 14th. But look at this, coming in from Novo. This is the kind of thing they want to see. Javik's currently sitting on a plethora of kills, and they're in a really good spot on the map. They're looking for the transition over towards the middle, but they're okay where they are right now. Pretty uncontested over towards the left-hand side of the map.
Yeah, really interesting map view here to see this new zone. Like we mentioned, it's going all the way to the northeast. It's going to Bio, so that same fight is going to continue to happen in Bio. It does look like Team 12 has taken over Bio, finally winning the fight. But unfortunately, what's weird about this map is when you have these extreme zones, most of these teams are just trying to figure out how to rotate without losing their lives. And when you do that, you don't find a lot of kills. We're going to see some very low point totals because of these zones.
EVOS, the next team to drop. But here, what can EXO do? That's what they need to try and find. Something along these lines. FaZe actually going for a little bit of a different drop yet over towards the top prison. Have they really getting a great deal for it? Well, Flanked has 5 kills, so it's not too bad of a start. And they really do have some sharks in the water beneath them. They start to transition away off towards this right-hand side. They fancy the fight against Twisted Minds. Flanked is going to run into 3 of them. Flanked is already dead. Really good work from Aiden Almond. They find another kill.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with what Twisted Minds has been able to do to play this kind of eastern side of the map without getting taken down by VP. I might be eating my words here in a second because Donkey has a nice angle on him. Smokes galore in phase on top. Twisted Minds stuck between 2 of the biggest teams, and they have nowhere to go. As much as I was impressed with them up until now, I think that was a mistake, but what else can you do besides sprint at VP on the low side? Maybe a better option, but either way, a tough draw with this zone for a lot of teams. Right now, Novo in control of the western side of the map. Here's a look at him. On the eastern side, it's VP. Those are the 2 teams. The Gentlemates holding down Bio still currently. Those are the 3 teams I expect to have some of the highest point totals based on the kills that we've seen thus far. FaZe, the only team that's been able to run through prison for the most part, but now scattered and gone to the wind.
Lost a couple of our top teams. Team Vision have also been dropped. All fights going over towards this left-hand side of the map. They're losing out, but on our screens, a big game coming in here from Nova. We just talked about it, 9 kills for Javix. Can they continue this? Vortex, Cams alongside. They've been a bit of a surprise story for me, actually, in how well they have actually performed. But this is a big fight, I tell you. Number 1 and number 2 going up against each other. Twisted Minds and Falcons battling it out down low.
First time we haven't seen the Falcons on a crazy amount of points, and they're going to get cut down immediately. Falcons, and unfortunately a 3v2, and for the first time in a while, they actually face all 3 players at the same time, so the trades are free. Diaz Biffle, incredible, and actually trades out 1, which is a huge boon there for the Falcons to cut down 1, but Falcons are out of here. It's actually a boon for the rest of the lobby to only have 2 players left for Twisted Minds.
And now that's something to forget about for everybody else. You don't need to worry about Falcons maybe farming you towards the end of the game. You don't need to worry about the position. You don't need to worry about their presence whatsoever. Circle we'll get a look at in just a little while, but you can see Fnatic in a decent enough spot here over towards the submarine. They'll be flirting with the edge of the circle right now. You can see in the top left corner. If that pulls over towards inland, they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, this is, again, such a weird zone that a lot of these teams are having to pivot by playing through the water, and then it just becomes a pistol fight. I mean, shooting fish in a barrel, sure, but you're in the barrel with the fish. I mean, that's what it feels like. Constantly just farming what we would call free kills if you do have a position where you can spot one out in the water. Patzuka, again, this is really Fnatic and Gentlemate's game to win. The zone is pulling to their drop spot. They've been fighting for position the entire time. And Fnatic, having been pushed out by the Gentlemates, said, well, I guess we'll just take the sub and hope it continues to pull to the north side. Here's the problem, Ton. If it ends Bio, Fnatic's in deep trouble, as are Extra J and Co. in the pink.
It's a big fight as the circle's starting to close in. Getting a little bit touchy for them. 3 more seconds and it's going to be entirely cut off, so it is literally get your flippers on, see what you can do. You look in the top left corner though, that circle's getting small. Bioweapons included. The team who are in the position to win this game certainly has to be Gentlemates.
Yeah, they've got high ground position. They don't need to move. Novo does have to move, but they're going to hold this position for a moment to pick up a couple teams in rotation. They know there's teams in the water. It's actually only 1 team on their side, and then they're going to move into new. The problem is there's not a lot of cover in this zone besides this building right here. I was about to shout it out. Twisted Minds out of here. VP knew they had to rotate to Industries. They had to make a play for the teams that had set up early, and they were able to execute it flawlessly. They take the low ground. You got Hamoud on the high ground.
EXO, a team on the bubble, trying to get something done here now as we start to get a little smaller. The circle will close for another 30 seconds. Teams starting to make their move. It's still Gentlemates in the prime position. But EXO and Co need to find something, and they've found Fnatic. They get wiped. They continue to move. Looking over towards the left-hand side of the minimap as well, you can already see that the movement is coming through from Novo. They're not in a bad spot either, but still Gentlemates, they wait. They wait and just find that position. Look at what Sage is doing though. Dongy VP getting involved. There you go. EXO gone as well. They're dropping like flies.
This is textbook work from VP. A perfect cluster on top of him. They heard the footsteps, able to knock a couple, then go clean them all up. That's another great
Lovely
team
shots.
down. Flanked out of here as well. FaZe out of the top 5 and out of the game. Down goes King Matty. We're down to 3 teams. VP, Novo, Gentlemates. Like we talked about, the team from the east, the team from the west, and the team on high, waiting, lurking. They've been here since the beginning. Will the Gentlemates say, hey, guess what, crowd? We can play. We can put up big numbers. They've got to win this, and right now they have the advantage. advantage with the high ground. In this moment, VP needs to rotate because we know the Gentlemates are looking down on Novo. Novo swinging up. They trade out a couple. Grom's on 7. A big game regardless for all of these teams. But VP is making a giant wrap through the gas to New. VP might be perfectly executing a win right now. Again, I said they were playing textbook. The Gentlemates have to go, and they have to go now.
Look at Enkyo. He's made the position already. He's got aggressive. He's the tip of the spear and finding 2 or 3 all on his own. Noob's trying to survive as long as he possibly can. That multiplier for the positioning is going to help out a lot. Can he find any picks whilst he's at it? He falls as well. Gentlemates wipe them. A 2 versus 1 now is placed on the full. Cams will find another hollow. Enkyo and Grumlock left in the 2v2.
We knew the Gentlemates could do it, but I told you before this game they needed to close their eyes and run at teams. This time the zone blesses them, then Inkyo sprints at them, picks up 1, Novo trades him out. Inkyo excited about the game, a frustrating loss. Let's see what he can do with the self-res. Cam's gonna try to clean it up here in 2v1.
Let's see if Enkyo can find anything here. The 1v2 will be massive. Not gonna happen. The win comes in from Novo, but it's a big game from Gentlemates as well. What's a game number 1 to kick off things here at day number 2. Novo find the win, and as a team who are sitting in and around that 7th place, huge for them, as Gentlemates down to the bottom, even bigger.
Yeah, this is such a massive game for Novo. This relieves all the pressure for being a somewhat bubble team. Placed in 5th place, getting a win, and we saw Havix had double digits. It's a huge game for them, and across the board, big congratulations to Novo for that win. Talked to these guys before the broadcast, great interview, and they said, nobody knows our game, nobody listens to our comms, we speak in Spanish, and we win games. We know we're gonna do well this tournament, and they continue to prove it.
And I think a really impressive thing from Novo there was the positioning they had was horrible. They were down towards the lower side, continue to survive, and somehow run the gauntlet, get themselves through, survive, and win the game.
Unbelievable job from Novo. Folks, we're going to take a very short break here in the booth. Excited to hear more from the rest of the team about this game. We'll get into game 2 shortly.
Level up your gaming experience with over 8 billion playlists, only on Spotify, the official audio streaming partner for the 2025 Esports World Cup.
Yo tengo máscara. Ahora se pelean,
Voy a comprarla, yo voy a comprarla.
Salió de...
Otro más izquierda. Tiene buen heady.
Uno para dos.
Ya, espera, Camilo, espera. La pista, lo tienes aquí metido.
Márcalo.
Aquí. Ahí.
Wani.
Izquierda otro. Espera.
Quiero Wani también. Wani, el tuyo.
Otro,
ven.
otro.
¡Vamos!
Santa, Camilo. Se está reseando. En verde.
Sube. Ahí, José.
Toca una bala. ¡Vamos! ¡Sí! ¡Vamos!
Joder.
¡Vamos!
One of our most consistent squads on day one finished last night in 5th place, but now Novo just finished first. How is this going to affect our rankings, and how many kills do you think they dropped?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really heavy total because the end of the game, it looked like everyone was just kind of coming to them. You heard Goj and them talking about, like, that play over towards sub was essentially a non-factor because everyone was playing survival mode. So you get into a position to kind of watch over the top of the rest of the circle, and it just felt like they were in the perfect spot. The win's massive, but it really helps them out because their average placement yesterday was good, but this win plus the multiplier should really shoot them up the leaderboard.
I love what we saw out of the Coast Guard, aka Novo, the Spanish squad with the Italian on the lineup. What did you see from them, Dream Crazy?
Well, for one, I mean, I was looking at landing zones. They had control for free, and Leviathan not landing factory, contesting Twisted Minds, allowed Javix, as you say, to get so many eliminations along that dock side. So curious to see where they placed, but you heard him, Vamos. That World Series of Warzone winner, 2022 in the European region. Vortex, he's definitely letting him know.
Vortex is that guy, quite simply. And the thing about Novo, Goj had a chance to speak with him. They've said themselves, look, nobody's expecting us to do well. We're coming in to surprise everyone, and that performance absolutely does that. They were already in 5th place. No reason why they don't potentially break into top 3.
No big expectations, no high pressure coming into day 2. Where do they land in our rankings? It's time to take a look and get your screenshots ready, ladies and gentlemen, because that is a 32-point finish after dropping 20 kills. Gentlemates, though, is the surprise for me. You see them right behind at 29.4, and Alan, that is their highest kill total for a single drop.
That's massive for Gentlemates. Again, kind of playing survival mode right now after a very lackluster opening day. To come out, be in a final battle, and your opening drop with the most kills in the lobby is huge for them. Just got to mention the name. Keep an eye on the CT Gaming squad, man. They keep sneaking around with a couple of high kill tallies.
Shout out to our pregame. We called out Inner Circle, Team Vision, Team Falcons, the bottom 3 from that drop. Twisted Minds also got bodied. So our predictions just as bad as yours, but this is exciting because all the teams that were at the bottom of the leaderboard just scored big, and now we get to see how that affects our overall rankings. Taylor, let's take a look at this one. After 10 drops, Falcons still in heavy control. They have no pressure on the day, but we're going to keep our eyes on the squads that are trying to climb.
Yeah, without a doubt. So who is that? Well, Twisted Minds. They start in 7th. They get a little bit of a W, going up to 6th place, but CT Gaming is hot on their heels. Rock Esports also growing up in 4th phase. A lot of questions about them at the start, right on the 2nd page. Now they jump up to the 1st and 9th, but still a lot more games to go. And for me, for Inner Circle, they've got to get busy. They're a little bit way too far down. They need a big 30-point game.
Incredible stuff there from Nova. They jump up to 3rd place with 135 points. That's now just 40 back of Falcons in 1st place. But remember, at the end of today, it's all about finishing top 7. And at the end of day 1, I said there was no chance that Gentlemates would be there. That was before the fans showed up here in Riyadh. Let's take a look at one of the big plays. It was Enkyo taking out all 3 members of Virtus Pro. And Ellen, they had the 2 members stacked up on top of the roof. Enkyo just goes in for the single play, and it pays off big.
Yeah, I mean, Goj pointed it out. Like, from the east, from the west, we saw teams locking down these POIs, but for the Gentlemates, they were the team that won Bio, pushing Fnatic out the whole entire game. And for Enkyo, right, we saw VP taking this really long gas wrap, trying to get behind the Gentlemates as they were fighting Novo Esports. And, well, Enkyo spotting that, he was able to take down Sage and Dongi, leaving Noobs by himself. And as we take a look at the replays here, I mean, you could just see the raps, the plays, the brains that this guy makes.
He lined them up first before he pulled that trigger.
Exactly. patience plays off. But hey, he's proven why he's the best. 14 is that? Like, he just kept going.
And then he waits for the third-party opportunity. That is a perfect play with 3 teams left. He guaranteed his squad was going to finish top 2.
Yeah, and I like the idea, again, late circle manipulation, knowing how that last little transition is going to move, how the final circle is going to manipulate across where the rest of the playing field was, especially considering that teams like Virtus Pro and you still had Fnatic, who are still very healthy, to find a little bit of a route to make a move, change the dynamic of the whole circle, and essentially just completely kick off Virtus Pro's high ground. Beautiful stuff. Just good macro play from the Gentlemates.
How big of a game was that for the Gentlemates? They had 6 drops on day 1. They finished under 50 points at 47. Today, day 2, they kick off with a 25-point bonus. This is going to get them right into the mix of things.
Yep.
The question is, can they stay consistent? You can't expect all of our big dogs to go down as early as they did.
Absolutely not. And you also can't expect a zone like that. That's the first time we've seen zone all the way over towards bio sub areas. So for Gentlemates, they do get blessed and blessed quite often, but are they going to continue to get blessed as they go forward? Yesterday, we saw plenty of control zones. That's where they dropped the ball. We're most likely going to get some more of them.
I saw some people in the chat asking, where's 100 Thieves? If you're just joining us, guys, good morning. We are right now in the mix of Group A versus Group C. After this, we'll go to Group B versus C, and then A, B to close out the night. You're going to see 9 drops here on day 2. That was just the first. And remember, these are our qualifying days. The top 7 at the end of the day are moving on. The other 14 teams are playing through that LCQ, and I have a feeling day 3 is going to get brutal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not to mention, too, Gentlemates, let's say they have a lot to catch up on the points, but they can use today to elevate them, not to mention they have the crowd. It's practice for them, right? And for the teams that do qualify, they have a whole day to just hang out and study.
Massive day for all the squads, Alan, as we take a look at some of the keys. No one will have their key crushed today, but here at EWC, the key represents your dreams.
Yeah, and it also represents the chance for a lot of money. Like, it's really simple like that. I think the thing about this particular day, and we talk a lot about how the favorites have some flexibility to do whatever they want, essentially, because they're going to be safe. Like, oh, we're in trouble. Let's just have one good map. We're good to go. The question mark is going to be how much does that foil the teams that are on the bubble? And throwing that into the mix and immediate conversation, Twisted Minds. That should have been a circle. Watching them play from the bottom side of the map, they should have done a lot better at. Like, I hate to be overcritical, but a team that didn't impress us day 1, that circle playing to the bottom side of the map, you would have figured they would have been better.
No, I agree, especially when you don't have Leviathan right there, right? Laze isn't there slaying you out. This is your opportunity, but you saw at one moment VP and Virtus Pro, and they almost fought, right? They backed away from each other. So
Twisted Minds, did they finish with any frags? Let's take a look at our kill leaders here after drop 1. Shout out to our stats wizard. We got all the bugs out of the system last night, and now you can see Enkyo, who finished with that triple kill against Virtus Pro, is going to top the leaderboard at 13. Day 1 featured a lot of Falcons at the top. It's nice to see a fresh start here to day 2. Who else do you expect to climb this leaderboard?
Hopefully Fnatic, right? Down there, they've got 2 talented members, and they need to work their way up. There was a lot of question marks of how well they were going to do during this tournament. Second place as an organization last year. This year, they come in with fresh faces, but still the same desire. And Patsuka, I'm looking for them to elevate themselves.
And Dream Crazy, you got 2 members of the Leviathan squad that you called out. Can, Javi, a.k.a. Javix, and Cams. Keep it rolling.
Well, Decky is the only one that's up there on the Leviathan squad. But the logos look the same. I actually thought the same thing. I was double checking that. But for Cams and Javi, yes. I think that squad, even yesterday, they were impressive because the fact that we always saw them all together. And the question was, hey, were some of these teams have 1 anchor or will they have 3 fly and fry? And for Novo, they're doing a great job of that.
Well, a lot of people are wondering, why aren't they starting drop number 2? It's because the players need an extra minute to tweak their audio. Why? Because the Kadia Arena is too loud. You see the Falcons fans, the Gentlemates fans all pouring in. Twisted Minds on their feet early, trying to cheer on their favorite players. It's great to see the vibes here in Riyadh as everyone is out to support their favorite Warzone players.
And I'm always curious to see, like, yes, you have some naturally grown fan bases that are coming in and supporting the teams, but we always, every single event have one team or one player win over the crowd. One, when you don't have your team playing, but two, when you're finally getting into the crunch time. So I'm curious to see who this fan base will really identify with as we move deeper into the day.
Taylor Noble, is that some drum cheese I just witnessed from the Gentlemates?
Oh, without a doubt. Actually, I was walking outside before the show started. I'm like, what is going on out there in the streets on the boulevard? Like, I'm hearing drum lines. I'm hearing, of course, everybody going crazy and going nuts. I had no idea. I'm thinking like Cristiano Ronaldo's walking through. No, it's just the Gentlemates, and they're coming in, and they're coming in big. And I even heard them booing quite a few teams as they were walking in. But look, that pressure, got to let it go for the Gentlemates. Use the crowd buff. Go big, because I think the Gentlemates are maybe outdoing Falcons and Twisted Minds out there in the crowd.
That is a massive Falcons flag there and a massive fan base for a lot of teams out here early. This is just drop number one. The sun isn't even down here in Riyadh, and that's really when the people start to come out. What's that temperature drops?
Yeah, we needed to drop 2 because, wow.
112 degrees Fahrenheit.
I am sweating.
We look good, though.
Well,
especially you listening.
Every day I wake up, it says excessive heat warning. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, it's 118 degrees outside.
While we have our players adjusting their audio, let's take a moment and check in with Miles Ross on the Boulevard.
Continuing our tour of the Boulevard, I'm now here in the retro section. We've got ourselves the 80s. It's an entire museum devoted to pop culture, gaming, everything in between. We're going to start here where I did as well, folks. That's right, an 80s baby. In this room, some incredible classic consoles. The Atari, Nintendo Entertainment System, 83. I never had one of those. The Sega Master System, you name it. Some of the most iconic films ever made. Advancements in the way we listen to music, the way we watch films, the way we play games. A lot of it was born here in the 80s. Advancing quickly, though, as we roll forward into the 90s. And in a decade, the amount that changed what we consume, how we consume it, trends, clothes, food, you name it, folks. This room, this one's my childhood. And we've got it all in here, man. The King of Fighters, the first Mario Kart. Are you kidding me, ladies and gentlemen? Some incredible titles in here. Virtua Fighter. The first versions of FIFA. So many incredible games. Our arcades over there. As pop culture changes tremendously. Bit of Dragon Ball Z over here as well. NBA Jam, Pac-Man, Golden Axe, Mortal Kombat. You name it. It's all happening. But that was the 90s. We're going to keep rolling, folks. Some of you watching this weren't even born. But we're looking at games, looking at the way they've changed and how fast they've changed. This is a brilliant example of all of it. There's Psycho Mantis. You might remember him from Metal Gear Solid. The 2000s, pretty big as well. A lot's happened there. And I know you were probably born in it. FIFA, love a bit of that. Memes in this room, you name it. Pop culture has changed a lot. There is so much going on in here. We're going to roll fast now into the 2020s. We find ourselves today. And how far gaming has come and how far gaming will go, who knows? The future, it could well be here already.
We love a good Miles Ross breakdown of gaming culture. The future is now, Miles. I'll tell you what, we are having a dang good time here in the booth, and it is time for game number 2, Ton. I gotta say, that one, I think the big question was, could the Gentlemates do it? And they were gifted the zone to do it in, and they mostly executed. Obviously, the win would have been nice, but overall, a really fun first map to watch.
100%. I think that was the kind of game they absolutely needed. As you say, get some help from the zone. But the problem for them is they need to keep doing that. They cannot rest on their laurels here whatsoever. 89 points is what they currently sit on. They need, a decent amount more than that. That's no question. They need a couple more games like that, to be honest with you. We need to see 15, 20 kills pretty much every single game. Do you want to hit that top 7? I said it's not essential for these teams to do that, but you'd sooner have a day off tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think Dream said they can go study, and I think that's a great option for using your time wisely if you do make the finals and skip the LCQs. Some fun quick notes, though, based on our first conversations before that first map. We did learn that folks did change a little bit of their strategy. Gentlemates, not so much. Gotta get through the zone, and their strategy change was just, well, we're gonna win. On the other side, though, Leviathan, as I just mentioned, did not land factory. Instead, They headed over to North Docks to contest EVOS over there by the Ammo Shack on the western side of the map. So an interesting change for them, and as mentioned, Twisted Minds was a bit free. Vision also hard committed. Vision Esports, of course, that's going to be FIFA Kill Squad and Lennon. Whole crew, they had a great day yesterday. Yeah. First map, really bad. They actually full committed to Harbor and got pinched immediately by Allman from Twisted Minds because they weren't being fought. Leviathan wasn't down there. And on the other side, it was VP at Chemical. So we'll see what happens here in game number 2, folks. Game 2 of A versus C. All the folks flying in and Ton. I can only imagine this one's going to be a bang.
Oh, we can't wait to get into drop number 2. Once again, just with that caveat of that we're constantly keeping an eye on what Falcons are doing, thinking about strategies moving forward. Same old, Stronghold fully locked down from them, but keeping an eye on what's going on the rest of the map here as well. Big fight over control, as it often has been, but that's a change up from Inner Circle. They went bioweapons last time. They're not playing with that this time.
And I think the desk also said, we got to keep shouting out CT Gaming, so I'm glad 100%. We're starting with them, man. They fried last game a little bit under the radar. They've been playing kind of center of map, contesting phase early on the bot side of Prison. Be curious to see what they can do on this map. The zone is very centrally located for the most part, like you mentioned. Could favor them for a late game play. Watch out for CT Gaming. We'll continue to watch out for them because, as you can see on your screen right now, they are now the new bubble. Of course, a couple teams in that mix not playing currently.
And immediately, Team Vision get pushed out Harbor once again. They have to then relocate. Lennon has done a good job at that, but they're over towards headquarters now, so how to play a very, very different game. While they look towards the control. Let's see if the Australian boys can get going again. Our winners from the last game, are they getting farmed? Jamik's going to find at least one. Is the pickup going to be there? Yes, it is. Wow. And our winners from game number 1 keep things rolling.
Man, Novo's looking really strong, and this time it's Inner Circle contesting control, which is unlike them. Usually they go up to bio, but with the zone a hair more south, maybe they're changing things up and just contesting everybody. We'll see what they're able to do.
And a problem there for Inner Circle, once again, straight off the start, really struggling. Fortunately for them, they make their way over towards Harbor. That's completely uncontested, but what isn't is inside of Prison. Once again, can this continue for CT Gaming? Just really going under our radar every single game. Kills falling their way, Scum and Co starting to drop, and that's another team who are really struggling in AG Global. Not had a good start here.
Yeah, AG in deep trouble, and Nate Dogg goes to toilets to try to find some moment of reprieve, and unfortunately gets punished for it. FaZe is here as well, though, as you see King Madi and squad now in deep trouble with their anchor away, I think on 1 floor above. They're going to be fine for now, but FaZe reaping the rewards of that extra shots down on AG. Now, AG, if I am not mistaken, I think might be full out of here. We'll get that confirmation, and it is looking like Scummin and Co cannot find a place that is safe for more than a couple seconds, mainly because Team Vision had to relocate. Look at where they're at on your screen right now. Team Vision, on your screen, they have HQ in full control right now.
And look who they're next to, the guys that have constantly been causing them problems. They can't get away from each other. You can see Twisted Minds trying to get something going here after the initial wipe over towards Team Vision. They maybe don't like the fight over towards headquarters, and I don't blame them for it, the high ground. Very much with the EU squad. Bit of a transition here from Armand and Co. They're just trying to scout out over towards the Harbor. We'll take a couple of shots for good measure. But big fight going on there actually as well. You can already see FaZe Clan finding a lot over towards Inner Circle, who have just not been able to find a home in this game.
I gotta tip my hat to FaZe. They're doing something that's very difficult, which is maintaining control over Prison. Such a big map, and they're continuing to play in that POI in Prison. The largest POI on the map, technically, in terms of building space, and they're somehow playing it near flawlessly, at least in the last couple. We'll see if they're continuing to able to do that, because they are a bubble team. Control, as per the usual, is where Novo lives, and everybody tries to regain here to contest them. They've won it just about every time, and unfortunately, it's actually Fnatic pushed out of bio, changing everything up, because they couldn't get a win over Gentlemates.
I mean, they need to, right? I mean, Fnatic really did struggle over towards that side, and they're one of those teams down towards that bottom side, have to pull some trees up to make that top 7 today, and they will be trying. Fights continue, though. We can see once again Inner Circle really struggling to try and get a foothold, but they are still surviving. Now starting to get involved in this fight over towards control. At least one player who may well be in the mix. Novo, though, they seem to be in a good position to do something in this fight. Sukex will find one. Can they continue to find anything else? Patsuka does have to dip out of dodge. He's the only one here from Fnatic, and he may well be the last one if he doesn't manage to find a gunfight. Continue to survive, but once again, feels like Novo have that control over control.
Yeah, it's a tough fight, frankly, for Novo if the other two teams fighting them had more personnel in the area, but it's just not enough bodies to take down Novo. We swing over to the Gentlemates, though. They were able to get a little active, take down Lazy, hyping up his gun skill. Unfortunately, couldn't win the 1v2 or even the 3, with Gentlemates pushing down from Bio. Not contested this time. It's a free rotate, but look who's coming over early from Kim. VP starting to make a play because most of Chemical also out of zone. They've got to pull into prison or at the very least Industries.
They found Grom already. Noob's now on the hunt as well. Ankyo seen on the other side. Couple of shots will get tagged up. You can see the fight on the other side. Perfect transition from Noobs. Helps out and Hallow is down. You can see right now, though, it is actually going to be Ankyo making his way across the map just to continue to survive. Teammates are dropping back in, but really good job there from the side of VP. They may well have control of Industries, but they will have to keep it moving.
Yeah, and FaZe knows exactly what's happening over here. They want to get into the mix and pick up some third parties. They know that people are weak, and Ankyo says, get out of my face, J-Tech. You're not cleaning up anything besides maybe some of your decision making, because that was not the right one. Flanked and Co. backing up after getting punished for trying to make a play.
Really big kill coming in from Ankyo, keeps things rolling for his squad. Fnatic will get out and get back to their comfortable spot. The big fight going on there. Biffle finding 2 over towards the left-hand side. There's a big fight going on between Falcons and, of course, the team of XO Esports. Over towards FaZe, though, trying to get some control inside of prison once again. Grom making the push, needs to find this kill. Comes it just far too easy. He'll find the gunfight. Gentlemates living on a wing and a prayer right now here in game number 2.
Yeah, they got a little over-aggressive because they're getting pushed from behind by VP. We do see Penguin's team get fully wiped. Squad 13 out of here. Watch out for the Falcons, of course. A bad map 1 for them. It doesn't matter on our overall leaderboard, but they could spoil a couple folks' tournaments here and send them to LCQs. Team Vision, again, have 1 headquarters. Remember, they dropped Harbor, get shoved out, they take over HQ, and wipe AG. Now they have maintained over a powerful position on the map. Frankly, one of the most powerful from a high ground side. That's why the Falcons are contesting them. Watch out for that fight as we head down to Twisted Minds and Inner Circle.
Yeah, this is the first time that Inner Circle have really been able to get some sort of control over an area. And they've got Twisted Minds to deal with. But aren't they going to be able to find much purchase out of this position? They're not in a terrible one, but it depends where the circle's going to go, but we'll worry about that in a second. Kills are really the aim of the game from them. Deki will fall to Orbs, who is obviously on a little run on himself, but over towards Bray and Teeny on this side of the map. Just finessing right now, but they're going to have 3 members of Twisted Minds to deal with.
Yeah, Twisted Minds not really in deep trouble right now because they have their anchor out onto the boat. We swing over to this fight in HQ. The Falcons down in numbers. Team Vision going to swing on this to try to wipe Biffle. We do have Ahsoka still alive. He's actually way deep out there in living quarters. I think you see him for a blip for a moment. Biffle standing in the corner, maybe talking to his team. I don't know what he was doing, but now he's on the run. And he's going to get pushed by Echo. They go for a trade. Echo, he gets pushed down and he wins the 1v2. I thought that was absolutely assured that Team Vision win that. What in the world?
Dropped on FIFA. They dropped on FIFA. They're going for the wipe. There's just no way that Team Vision should lose that fight.
Unbelievable. So much to talk about there, but so much more going on because we swing over to Twisted Minds, and now they're body stacking, now they're playing together, and now they're wiping Inner Circle. Not a full wipe, but the Falcons can get into the mix because they took down HQ. They have so much room to work with. HQ is now the Falcons. Somehow, some way, Team Vision is out of this map, and Falcons are in the most powerful position right now, and now Shifty and Biffle are on the hunt for free kills.
That way is Diaz Biffle right now. How on earth? I think there was probably a bit of a misplay. You can see, Echo on the leap up, gets them lined up. Lennon dealt with. Shout out production for the replay of that one because they let them know, and immediately you see Shifty jump on FIFA's head. We'll have the position, we'll have you out of the game, we'll keep things rolling. Remember who you challenge. Biffle continuing. Armin the next on the top. He's just flying. He is sending it as Biffle finds another. We'll have Aiden as well. He is solo wiping teams here in map number 2.
As per the usual, the Falcons have one bad map, and they say, don't let anybody forget who we are and what we are capable of. What an unbelievable swing in the Falcons' favor here in game 2. Of course, job not done, but in a good position. We do see Team 12, Gentlemates, getting into the mix. They're trying to find a powerful position over the top of Factory. Unfortunately, they are forced to play the low ground because you had the Falcons up on top of HQ looking over, and now in that Team 7 in yellow, Yellow has taken over headquarters, and the Falcons fully shoved out to help out Biffle.
There we go. Grub and Cub maybe don't want anything to do with this. They don't like the positioning, but they're running straight into VP here as well. Gentlemates in a tough spot. Stuck between Falcons and VP. Oh, I could feel a few more places that may feel a little more gentle than this. continuing on here at Falcons. They've lost them out. Gentlemates do continue to survive and have done. Yeah, I'd feel the same way if that was where my team are. Falcons continuing. Fnatic out of the game. Just continue to survive if you're Gromlock. Struggle to do so. Just too many teams around them here, Coach.
Yeah, VP goes huge off screen, wiping the Gentlemates. They find the angle. Noose playing anchor on the backside. His two teammates slay out. Gentlemates might have had a good first map. Map 2, not so much. They do make top 10, but I don't know how many kills they had, having to rotate early out of bio. Be interesting to see where they're at in the leaderboard, as Twisted Minds and the Falcons are also fighting over Factory. The zone does pull closer to Prison, so a big move for some of our other teams. CT, watch out for him as the fight continues on main.
And if I'm Aiden and Harmon right now, I'm thinking to myself, are we continuing this fight? Well, we're not, because Pitfall's found me. Shifty will pick it up. And once again, Armand is like, where are my team gone? Are they hunting for me? Just trying to survive, and Armand will continue to do so. He's in a position where he can, but they are farming Twisted Minds right now, are the Falcons.
Again, if the Falcons were playing for the win, I think they maintain position to HQ. They're not playing for the win, Ton. They're playing to kill everyone else they could possibly get their hands on, especially teams that they know could theoretically threaten them on a better day. Dongi does find Hisoka with the help of Almond. Trading of blows between this Twisted Minds and VP roster, fighting for the Falcons on the south side of the map.
Looking at everything that's been going over towards Factory, everything over towards Harbor. Things are changing up over towards the Prison, though. Some of these teams who still need wins, some teams who are on the bubble, thinking of CT, thinking of Twisted Minds. Well, over towards the Prison for some of these squads, and it is an important game for them. A lot of the teams who were kind of threatening that top 7 are already out. Leviathan and EWC Esports are in a good spot, but look at the top left corner. That's how things are going to change. Just a partial Prison zone. The rest of it, no man's land.
Yeah, frankly, I actually quite like where CT is at.
Yeah.
Got a nice position on the north side of Prison. Kind of uncontested with 3 teams on the south side in Prison. Big main Twisted Minds out of here because Shifty finds the right angle. Almond all by himself. Hardly a prayer that he could get out of that regardless, and unfortunately gets cut down. Now, I will say EVOS, they might be out of the equation on our overall leaderboard, but they've got a great position on the map as well. The other side of top Prison, Showstopper, Robstar, and Jawad. A tough tournament thus far. Rob has been fighting for this high ground position this entire tournament, finally able to execute on it in our game number 11.
Look who's still alive and kicking. Novo. Vortex is here, 8 kills to his name. They are slowly making themselves a very, very tasty team. A team who can contend here this week. But we're down to 6 teams in a very small zone. That is going to half pretty quickly when this circle finally closes.
Somebody else can fact check me, but I think besides the Falcons, Novo Esports got to have the best average placement. Good grief, they made it to top 6 again, but everybody wants top 5. A key factor for our multipliers, a key factor for a lot of these teams. Quick look at the zone. You saw it on your mini-map. It is pulled completely off of Prison. Who's in the best position? It's absolutely VP. A full, healthy VP on the low side. High ground usually an advantage, but for this zone, absolutely isn't.
Falcons in a really rough spot here. Dongi and Co. Eyes on. Everything working out in their favor, and there they go. They're wiped. They've had a very, very good game, but that is a good amount of kills coming through from VP. They're starting to line them up. Dongi is starting to fry. Everyone's going to have to jump up the top of Prison very, very shortly. You can see the streak starting to come in, and that is causing absolute havoc. Vortex then falls. Those 6 teams are now 4.
Leviathan, they needed a big game. They're down near the bottom of the leaderboard, and changing up their POI apparently has worked on this map. Showstopper going huge. King Mighty cut down. CT trying to make a name for themselves here on main stage, but unfortunately, Showstopper is stopping their show today as VP, a full team of 3 with zone position. Showstopper by himself. It is all Virtus Pro in game number 2 in A versus C.
Incredible game. One where we got to see some teams start to flex their muscles again, but once more, the cream is rising to the top. Virtus Pro get themselves a very good game, and that will help their cause for a top 7. Not that we ever expected to be anything different, but that might just solidify it.
A great map for them. They got a lot of kills, but again, it's the same story as the Gentlemates. They did get the zone. They got every zone that they really wanted. Yes, they had to pull off of Chemical, but pulling back to Chemical, they knew exactly who was behind them, aka nobody. They had the best position. If that zone pulled back to Kim, it does. They get the win. The key factor about that game, though, about VP, was that Team Vision was pushed out of Harbor immediately. So then VP knew exactly where everybody was at. They knew nobody was behind them. They could play it nice and slow. I don't know how many kills they ended up with, but overall, a great practice for a great win. They were already at the top of the leaderboard, and this just solidifies that.
Good game for EWC Esports as well. It's one that they very much needed. Towards that bottom side, they find themselves in second with a decent amount of kills. That will give them some hope, but there's still a lot of games still to be played.
One more game here for Group A versus Group C, and then we'll change things up. You're not going to want to miss Game 3. Don't go anywhere.
This land is calling.
Knock right here, get that full. I got it. I can self, Yeah, mid window. That's it. Eddie, cross to me, come here. I have everything. Yeah, come here. Down in mid. On the left stairs, on the stairs. Yeah. I got my full in mid. I can see on the stairs. And top and bottom. I'm playing right here, all my ping. Down. Crack. Top on the left. Last. On the top. He's selfing, I think. It might be.
Nice. Good shit,
boys. Come on. Let's go. Way to fucking go, boys. Come on. Let's get their shit. Oh, he was laying there? I said,
Sorry, showstopper. That is Virtus Pro you just ran into, and they do not get rolled over 2 games in a row. After Enkyo stabs him in the back, VP bounces back with a win of their own. How many kills do you think Dong and Fred's dropped?
Oh, geez, I have no idea, but
billion?
I know a million is a bit high, but maybe 2 million. I don't know. Let's go ahead and set the bar high. I would say though, for Dong, you could see it setting up quite nicely. All those teams having to rotate from prison straight into him. We called it. Doggy's about to pick up at least 5 or 6, and I think he did that in the final moment.
VP got that final pull, but it looked like they were finding success earlier. Who was riding the struggle bus in this game?
Inner Circle just can't get their feet underneath them today. It's 2 straight games where they kind of continue to be in this staggered, I'm dropping in, please stay alive. Oh, I died as I dropped in. You stay alive, now I got to come in. And just never really able to get their loot going, so they're never in fighting form. And again, just based on where their drop position is, they find themselves between Twisted Minds, Virtus Pro, all these heavy-hitting teams. The only real downside to it, I think, just generally talking about that southeast side of the map, is that Twisted Minds have not fought and done well against another major team yet.
Twisted Minds are on the struggle bus, and Vision is also another roster who's
I love
on
that, by the way, from Sage.
Oh, he's talking trash.
Like, Falcons, what are you doing with your hand?
Well, remember, that's old teammates that he's going against, too,
True.
right? That's what he won a championship with, at least with Biffle and Shifty, so he wants to be back there once again.
Yeah, a little trash talk. Sometimes you just do it to the camera, you know, a little sportsmanship. We take a look here at the struggling teams and, of course, the teams that are rising. Novo Esports, again, finishing top 3. They won the last game. They get second place here as VP takes their turn on top of the leaderboard. But you called out CT Gaming right before we jumped in this. I will shift. They're definitely the surprise of the tournament for me. They're killing it.
We just cannot find the time to talk about them enough. We really haven't seen them much in the early game until today, this opening drop that they had for game 2, but they're putting together consistent numbers. I mean, they're averaging right around that 10 to 15 kills per drop. They're still finding themselves inside top 5s. That's back-to-back top 5 finishes for them here. So they're doing what they need to do to be right in the spot to finish in the top 7. The only thing that really, I think, again, we just need to really keep our mind on here is that you have to be able to win a drop if you're going to win this event, and so far only a couple of teams have shown that they can do that.
Did AGAL even spawn in that game? Let's see where they're at on my leaderboard, because I thought Scummin', he was going to be set up for success. You got rated here. You got Nate Dogg. You have some big name streamers all on one lineup, but they are not looking good. Down to 18th place as others are starting to rise. EXO Esports into our top 11. But reminder, Group B still has a ways to go here. They haven't even taken the stage yet on day 2.
Yeah, for AG, man, worried for them. They're going to need 2 big pop-off games. I just don't know if it's going to be possible with their previous performance. Now, for me, I'm putting Twisted Minds on high alert. They're currently within top 7. But now things are a bit awkward for them, and I'll tell you what, Factory not getting challenged puts them in a frenzy. They don't know where to rotate. Do we go harbor side like we're used to? Do we go up towards Living? Well, they try to go up towards Living, they get bodied. They try to go up towards Prison, they get bodied. They then get challenged by Falcons, and they are fully eliminated. Twisted Minds, I think, will not be in top 7 by the end of the day.
Falcons are now 6 points away from hitting that 200 mark, and the most impressive play for me was when they wiped Team Vision. After the hero play from Biffle, they don't just sit back after those 2 kills. They chase down people. Let's take a look at it one more time. Biffle goes from being prey to predator in the flick of a switch.
Yeah, and it's crazy because right here, FIFA kills up in the tower, and you think that that Vision has it, right?
Yeah.
And then that chase, maybe Lennon was a little bit too far behind Echo. Like, they were double stacking in a 1v2. Biffle should not have clutched that, but I mean, Biffle does Biffle things.
Mantles don't always save lives.
That's what it was.
Situation right there. I'm told the stage is ready. We got a ton to break down. Shout out to all the watch parties, but it's time for drop number 3.
We've got a ton to break down, and we've got a ton to break it down.
Come on, that was far too easy. Far too easy. You shouldn't have fallen into that trap. That's just
No, map 2 was a ton to break down because it was so many interesting elements with some changes, some different teams in the mix. I think a couple constants, though. Novo does make top 5 again, a little bit overshadowed by a massive game from Virtus Pro, but Novo's still obviously inside of our top 3 overall, but a top 5 placement, again, they're so dang consistent. Even though it wasn't the best game for them, they made a okay game into a good game for them.
Yeah, they're really showing their mettle. They're showing their pedigree right now, and it is very much shining through. They are really the story of today so far for me. Incredible work from Novo, but there is still A lot of games to be played. But for some of these teams, it is now becoming now or never. For Inner Circle, just couldn't get anything going for them. Fnatic way down there as well. If you're AG Global, you're in a horrible spot. You're more than guaranteed pretty much at this stage to be going to last chance qualifiers tomorrow. I tell you what though, I know that Des were talking about Twisted Minds. I'm starting a little concerned for Team Vision here as well. Yeah. Right now, we have the leaderboard on our screens. You guys at home don't. Twisted Minds 116 points. Team Vision are only 2 ahead. Yeah. They are very much in the conversation to not be making top 7. We need to see a good game out of Team Vision here.
A big game from Team Vision, a big game from Twisted Minds, a big game for the east side of the map. Everybody aside from Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro dominating yet again. The Falcons, of course, hero plays and assuredly going to the finals and skipping LCQs. But what do we do now? The third game, the last game for A versus C. Let's jump into it. A lot of question marks and a lot of folks with their back against the wall here, Ton.
And this is going to change things up. We'll have a little look at the circle in a second, but Stronghold is cut off. The circle is leaning more to the southeast. So you'd imagine we're going to be cutting off Control Center, Dock, etc. as the game does go on. Maybe a contestant coming in here over towards the Falcons. I maybe just popped a little too early on that one. But Stronghold is where they are heading once more. They haven't changed it up like we thought they potentially would, and will continue to start to farm kills as things starting to get rolling straight across the board. Who's in trouble here? It's the Gentlemates, it's Padzuka and the Fnatic boys start to farm them off the rip.
Yeah, Fnatic back at their old games again. I guess this old dog can't learn new tricks. They're back up against the Gentlemates up here in Bio, and I think a trading of blows both ways means both teams will back off for a moment and make sure their teammates stay alive. You don't want to get wiped early, not when you're fighting for position on the leaderboard. And of course, I think a lot of other things we could talk about Team Vision. They do go back to Harbor, and they do get somewhat contested by that Kim team of VP, but so far so good. It does look like Twisted Minds alone as well down in Factory. So we're going to stick with this fight for now to make sure that both of these teams are able to make it out of Bio alive. I can't imagine that's going to be the case.
Just a side note, we'll not go over towards them necessarily, but Falcons did get contested over towards the Stronghold, and that was actually from EXO Esports. A bit of a bold play coming from them. It's safe to say EXO Esports are being sent packing, but what I did love to see there was from Falcons, 2 of them just back straight up. Hisoka was in a little bit of trouble. You see Biffle, Shifty, comes straight back to help their rank.
Well, and this is actually a key moment of Prison. We haven't seen the beginning of this Prison fight in a while, and CT has actually pushed FaZe out of Prison, out into the open. For now, that's okay, because everybody else is congested in this kind of quagmire of their POI. But look at the kill feed lighting up like crazy. Inner Circle decided to contest Novo over in Control, and Novo is punishing them. And speaking of getting punished, over there in HQ, Showstopper, Robstar, they're not getting anything. They're not getting a tower. They're not getting an ammo shack. They are out of here.
Pretty early doors for them. Vision, once again, really struggling. And the problem is for them, they're dropping in between 2 shocks. They're between VP, they're between Twisted Minds, and they are just getting farmed over and over. Lennon has been caught by noobs. Everybody else from Vision now is just trying to start to survive. And who are they potentially going to run into? Their Reapers from the last game in Team Falcons. But as that all goes on, we'll see how it develops. But back over towards Falcons, back over towards Bioweapons. And right now, back over with Fnatic, I should say. A lot of teams starting with FPA. Doge, we're struggling. We'll get there in the end.
No, I love it. I'm really curious to see what's going on with CT and FaZe still. FaZe still pushed out of their POI, and now's the time where some folks can start looking over at that fight and saying, why are there open people wide out in the open? And actually, J-Tech is getting picked up by CT off screen, as Fnatic still fighting the Gentlemates on this spot. This is something that happens often, especially up in Bio when you maintain position in the zone. There's going to be fights that take a very long time, but we swing over to the Falcons and Twisted Minds. The Falcons getting better than their opponents overall. A nice win for them right now. Almond, I believe, last alive for his team after the Falcons strike down 2/3, and they know exactly where Almond's at, but they know they can't get there in time to get the full wipe. Twisted Minds still in the blender, even though they have Factory completely to themselves.
Falcons playing around. Team Vision over here as well, who have not been able to get things rolling whatsoever. Lennon in a little bit of trouble. More than that, he's gone. And all of a sudden, Echo and Cove really do have to just continue to survive. A team who we did lose was EXO Esports. They dropped on Falcons early. Of course, got wiped. Echo falls. And once again, Team Vision, you cannot get a hold of anything right now. They are starting to struggle. And they're under threat of this top 7 falling out of their hands.
Still floating, still on the map, but need a hero play. And speaking of a hero play, Novo Esports in need was one as well, because we've got Biffle trying to play spoiler to Control. This is the classic rotation from the Falcons. This is what they did in the first couple maps. Take a look at the left-hand side of your screen. You do see that 9, that salmon peach color-ish. That's going to be Team Vision. Watch out for them on the map. If you see them, they are still alive. We'll continue to check in with them. This is the key moment. being on the bubble, but this Novo esports team trying to go big on Biffle. They are not going to get 1v2'd. They did not body stack. They shouted together side by side, and they win the gunfight.
Incorrect call from me. Exos esports still continue to thrive. And, well, just about survive, if anything. But teams starting to fall, players starting to fall, control starting to go over to a few different teams. But this is a big fight on the outside of the circle, but it's Yarvik once again finds the fight. Can he find the second? It's not going to be there. Shifty once again. Him and Biffle, no, actually they managed to find the wipe as well. Novo fall extremely early to the hands of Falcons. And once again, though, EXO really want to get involved with the Falcons. They're looking for control here as well.
Like we talked about, the Falcons are just here to make a statement now. They don't care about anything. They've already qualified for the finals, most likely. They're at over 200 points at this point, and they wipe one of the top teams today. Novo is out early for the first time, I think, in the entire competition in double-digit exits. A crazy moment because they stayed in control, and unfortunately, when all three are in control, the Falcons come in at the right time. They're going to be able to get the wipe. Great execution with the Falcons yet again.
And eventually, it is going to be Vision getting a little bit of control themselves. Got one other player towards the other side of the map, but we are eventually seeing them get themselves at least a loadout and up and running. Once again, running into Twisted Minds. These two teams fighting over each other, but also fighting in pretty much the same spot on the leaderboard. Important fights continuing here. Right now, keeping an eye on Fnatic as well. They are pretty much center zone for the most part over towards the top prison side. We'll keep an eye on how things are going to transpire. That circle is closing. We'll know which way we're going in 20 seconds.
And again, our zone is pulling southeast. So Bio now out of zone, Stronghold out of zone, most of Living Quarters out of zone. We're going to be headed to this POI right here. It's going to be a factory or harbor ending or any of that land in between, maybe red. Here we go, Aiden looking for a double on Vision. This would be a wipe likely on Vision. No, they've got one floating. Either way, it's going to be a wipe on Echo, not even close. The wrong place to be at the wrong time. We've got Inxian out as well, Fnatic being wiped off screen, as it looks like Leviathan picking up a few kills. Twisted Mind's doing a lot of the same.
Yeah, unfortunately for Vision there, they had one play over towards the other side of the map when they went for that regain. That was FIFA. He's only just got involved. And now they're hunting him down as well. Here come the rest of VP. FIFA needs to survive and has survived long enough. The rest of the team are on their way back, but how long can he survive? Aiden hunting, and they find them just oh so easily. FIFA wiped up the map, but the rest of the team have continued to survive. Big fight going on over towards prison, though. Team starting to get involved.
Yeah, a huge switch here because the Falcons are getting into the mix. They're trying to get really active, and as they do, they get punished for it. CT was waiting, lying in wait, Scummin also trying to find anything on the leaderboard, and finally AG is coming online. Finally, they're getting kills after an absolute goose egg. And the last one, they have a few to their name as Biffle is last alive and barely breathing, slowly, surely waiting for his teammates to get back into the lobby.
Yeah, he should be all right as everything is kind of shaken out here. Biffle will continue to survive, but will have to take his time to go for the regain for his squad. Fights going on here. Over towards Chemical. Good shots coming in from Sage. One smoking. Manny's picked out of the sky. We'll have that one. Noobs will find one. Of course, over towards Inner Circle. Orbs is dealt with, but the circle now starting to come in once again. We said it was pulling in this direction. Factory Harbor going to be well fought over. Prison control may well be there for the side of Falcons as well. It's a big fight over towards Living Quarters too, but everyone's starting to fight out, starting to juke out. But these teams are over here towards Industry. You're going to have to find this fight and get the skates on.
Gentlemates strike back. VP not in trouble. They've got their anchor way out to the side of Kim. But Gentlemates do strike them and say, don't worry, you're not going to get a free win this time. We see, looking at that zone again, you took a look at it. There's not a lot of people in Harbor and Factory, which means anybody that can regain before our timer ends are going to fly directly there. You're going to see a lot of solos, a lot of duos down there trying to regain. I would expect a team like Twisted Minds, since they're still alive, to get a couple of these kills and then directly swing back into Factory to try to take over the control of, frankly, the strongest POI on the map. And not the high ground currently in zone, but what will be the high ground. So they're going to play low side and then work up through Factory. Watch out for Twisted Minds, hopefully in the late game. This is their game to lose. It is pulling to their POI. It's the classic statement we said about the Gentlemates.
A couple of teams who are going to struggle here have to make a big jump over towards a little bit of safety. Well, it is going to be Vision. It was Nate Dogg who was watching over them, but FIFA couldn't manage to find it. They make their way. Gentlemates of Grommelok and co have to also make their way over towards prison as things starting to get a little mix here towards this bottom side. Still 10 teams remaining as the third circle continues to close. Team still fighting over everything over towards that side, but if you are in a circle, you're just trying to survive right now.
Yeah, watch out for the Falcons. They just popped an advanced UAV. They're going to go flying through prison and trying to pick up some kills. They also know how to rotate to new zone, and it does look like they're going to swing down to HQ. Watch out for HQ fight while we see the inner workings of prison get all shuffled around. Inner Circle, I am surprised, frankly, that they have been able to regain as best they have. They at least have 2 on the map. They're trying to make a play. It does look like Oz being cut down off screen by noobs might spoil any plans they have for a full team of 3, but take a look here, as it looks like maybe the Falcons not going to rely on one, but an entire team to wipe this Team Vision.
Well slowed down by FIFA. Echo, has he found the angle? Yes, he has. FIFA will get taken down. Can he find the second? Not quite going to be there, but is the trade Lennon to pick up the pieces? Hisoka will fall. All 3 members of Vision continue to survive. But if you're Falcons, you survive as well, but they're in a precarious spot right now.
We've got to check in with Team Vision and do a listen in with this squad. Now that they've wiped 2/3 of the Falcons, where do you go from here? You need the points. Let's listen in.
Where do you throw it, Len?
Here.
I got it.
There's a gold crate below, by the way.
I'm not hitting him with that. One of us should probably buy you here something. We should play grannies.
Give me.
Look at this down low, bro. Look at this down low.
Yeah, see it. I'm buying you. Give me money. Echo.
Yeah.
Run one side door, right side door on that one. On the stairs there.
Yeah, I dropped here.
Alright. Where'd you drop me, bro?
Inside, bro.
Where? Like,
FIFA picked it up, bro.
There you go. Money, bro.
We've got to watch roof and shit.
Yeah, I already jumped out.
Yeah?
Yeah, one guy deep in gas on the right.
Some strategy plays, some miscommunications, but overall they are alive. Off screen, nice shot from FIFA. Off screen, you didn't see Falcons full wipe, Gentlemate's full wipe. They're into the top 10, and Team Vision trying to address how they want to move into the zone. They went to go buy UAVs, and now we're going to push on to Twisted Minds. Remember what I said about Twisted Minds? In Factory, they're trying to maintain control as we see Leviathan struck down by VP. VP will not go quietly into this new zone. There is only one alive as AG falls.
And it's very typical for Vision to actually get themselves in this position, as we see the circle in the top left corner now is shrinking towards them and Twisted Minds. 2 of the teams we said coming into this game needed to have a big one. Vision have somehow survived to this stage. They may well go on to win this game.
Huge question marks around the total amount of kills that both of these 2 teams have, but on the offside, Sage is by himself and he doesn't care. Picks up 1. No, can't get the trade out. VP out early. They do go down in 6. They will not get our best multiplier you can get without the win, but even still, VP puts some points on the board as Inner Circle again. Tip my hat, I shake their hand. Somehow, some way, in a regame blender all game, they have made their way to top 5. They needed it bad.
It's been the same for them. It's been the same for Team Vision. It's been the same for Exo Esports. You are living very much by the hair on your chins. Resolve will fall, and there you go. We've lost CT Gaming, who have once again just found themselves over towards the top side. But here we are, with Team Vision over towards the top side of Factory. Boat very much belongs to the side of Twisted Minds. You have an Inner Circle and Exo in the mix as well. Anybody's game. But really, the height advantage belongs here to Team Vision. What can they do with it? Well, there's a drop. Braid's going to fall. Obbs is there to find the pickup. Obbs actually managed to find himself plenty of kills, but can they find the pickup? Yes, they can. Inner Circle gone. 3 teams remain.
Yeah, you steal those kills away from Hamoud as well. It's a huge win. It's going to be a 3v3v2. Obviously, Twisted Minds with that zone actually pulling even further than I thought it would. It's going to pull all the way to Boat, and now it's actually pulling back over to School. Who rotates first is the question. Do you have the resources? Do you have the gas mask to rotate early? Twisted Minds is the best spot. Hamoud and Notorious say, we're going to go underneath everybody and maybe swim over to School. You can only imagine Twisted Minds to sniff these guys out. There's the early rotate. FIFA Kill, known to be a great IGL, does get there first. We'll see if that power position pays off. Check out FIFA Kill on the right-hand side.
Yeah, makes his move. And here come the rest of the team as well. Echo will be the last domino to fall, the last player to make his move as well. Arm and Nico just trying to find some picks. Do they know where they are? Do they have that information? Do they have the gunny? Echo pinned down for just a little bit, but he needs the rest of his team to help him out here. But the linchpin in this one could be Exo Esports, who are still lingering.
Again, Team Vision, the only team technically in New Zone. They have power position by a mile. They are going to win this game unless it's an absolute sell. Twisted Minds extremely good at rotating. They're able to do it. No, they can't. Z-Smith can't get through. And Exo actually cleans up 1 as well. They trade blows. Twisted Minds in a complete blender. They've got 1 down below. It's going to be a 3v2v1. Team Vision has this game. They've just got to execute. Do not scam, gentlemen. You've got to win in your hands. Exo can't get out of the water, but still a great effort from them.
Yeah, 3v1v1. Team Vision. It's very typical. They were in such a bad spot throughout the majority of this game. 1 player now will fall. You can surely imagine Exo will fall as well. Aiden couldn't do anything there. And I don't know if Notorious can do a great deal about this. That's a hell of a regain from Team Vision.
They were battered across the entirety of the map, could not find a spot to call home. And they end up the team on top. It's a big game coming in from Team Vision, and one they absolutely needed.
A very interesting map, Ton. We had 3 teams technically on the bubble, 2 teams right there on the bubble, in 5th and 6th, I believe, with 100 Thieves not even playing right now. So realistically, they're 6-7. They are the bubble, and they needed some points. I think the big question, though, I don't think Twisted Minds, I don't think EXO, and I don't think Team Vision had very many kills, not compared to what we've seen in the past. So is it a boon? Absolutely. Is it a nice thing to add that feather to your cap, say we won another map? Sure, but I don't know that it's going to change the fact that they're still going to be on the bubble, and they're going to have to do it again when they get into their next matches.
I think just for me, just the position they were in to then find themselves to go on to win that game, they could have very easily dropped out 10th, 11th. I mean, it has to be, it's extremely typical to see how far they managed to get themselves, how good of a position they found themselves in towards the latter stages of the game. Great set in the end out of them. They will take that all day long. But still, the question remains, can they manage to find a way through? A lot of work still to be done.
Yeah, it was a great moment from them. I will say they capitalized on their advantage as well. They were the only team with a player advantage because of the way Twisted Minds had to rotate. EXO picked off one, and then it was just free. Even with the smokes out there, a couple bullets connect, you've got them locked down, you get the kills. They had player advantage, they had height advantage, they had rotational advantage with the zone. They had everything in their fingertips. They just had to execute. They were able to do that. Obviously, great IGL calls, but frankly, a gift towards the end. It was really fun to see multiple teams that were in the Regain Blender. I don't know if we need to brand that and sell it here to EWC, but the Regain Blender is the definition of Rebirth Island, and those teams able to stay inside the Regain Blender and not get bits to pieces. It was a huge win for even folks like Inner Circle if they had some decent kills. Folks, we've got an interview down on the stage. Let's check in with our stage crew.
The Gadia Esports Arena is on fire today. You can hear the crowd. What a phenomenal day so far. And we're only 3 maps in. I've got Enkyo here from Gentlemates. If you can hear me, Enkyo, above all of this, you started today 17th place. Struggling a little bit, but you know what? You had your head screwed on because you came in 13 kills and you managed to secure first place on that map. How did that feel?
I'm feeling very proud because the fan is here, and I'm very excited for the rest of the tournament. So yeah, I'm happy.
Well, I've got to talk about last night because we already mentioned 17th place coming out of yesterday. Obviously, you must have not been very happy with yourselves. What conversations did you have amongst the team to kind of come into today like you have so far?
Every day it's a new day, so just reset and go fight every day and just passion.
Passion, I like it. You came in with fresh heads, so that's great. And also something that the analysts, I've been hearing you guys, they've been talking about the crowd buff. The crowd is absolutely phenomenal for you guys. Is there anything you'd like to say to them?
The crowd is fucking insane, but for me it's it's a dream. It's a dream playing in the stage with the crowd. It's insane.
Well, Enkyo, it's a dream to have you here, because especially when you're playing the way you guys are. Best of luck in the rest of your matches today. But for now, we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll come back for map number 4.
Going under. One shot. One's under me, absolute.
One's still water.
Yeah, heard that.
Yo, watch out back, Thief, watch out back, Thief.
Yeah.
Thief, watch out back there.
I'm a ladder.
Knocked. I knocked on him. Other guy's there too, other guy's in the water.
Yeah, no, he went. Wait, yeah, he's in.
I'm playing this side.
I'm flashing him to try and get him again. I flashed him, I think I get kill off that. Keep watching ladder.
No, be honest. He slid out. Here.
I'm chilling it, bro.
Dead.
One left water. One left water.
Dive at him.
Water.
Yeah, right side. Dead. Nice! Come on, baby. Let's fucking go. Ah, there we go. Hey, good shit. Ah, needed that one, boys, didn't it? Yeah. Whew.
He with high ground wins game. Well done, Visions, as they lock in and take a big game after we just called them out for struggling. Taylor, this was not just Visions' game, though, to bounce back. A number of teams pulled off an incredible map 3. Who were you most impressed by?
Twisted Minds, especially because they had a very, very slow start. Nobody was the harbor side. Nobody went to them. I'm thinking Twisted Minds, you got to rotate out. But they saw the zone coming to them, and therefore they stayed true to their strategy. They stayed on factory, and everybody started feeding into them. Twisted Minds, in my opinion, got a tremendous game they needed.
Inner Circle was the surprise of the game for me, somehow surviving into our Final Four. Dream Crazy, who else did you note from Game 3?
Yeah, I mean, Inner Circle for one, just had to note, Regame Blender the whole time, making a top 5 is insane. AG Global, just a quick note, if we want to mention
Raiden
them.
had a big play.
Yeah, they had a little big play in the mix after having 2 dead last games. But XO kind of sneaking their way into the water into the top 3 for Hamoud and his team. Even though we really haven't seen like too much of them on broadcast, they're still like sneaking their way, inching their way into the top 5.
Notorious that Jordanian was the last man standing outside of Vision's crew. XO, what's the expectation for them right now?
I don't think they have much of like a bar they need to meet. I think it is just down to can they continue to keep playing spoiler. Similar storyline for Hamoud from last year. That was the big case. And also I think just on top of that, it kind of rinses and rewashes the same storyline from last year in the same way that they are the ones that are playing in between Falcons and the rest of the map. So we're dealing with a really interesting scenario. For our first 3 drops, all the teams that are finishing essentially in the top 5 are teams that are landing where the final circle ends up being. So there's a level of dominating the space that you drop on and putting pressure on teams to rotate. And so far, our winners, at least to this point, have done a nice job of doing that.
Let's take a look at our overall standings now. After a big Game 3, Visions is able to jump back up, and you see Inner Circle, 26.6 is going to top the lobby here, 21.6 points for VP, and Twisted Minds, you saw the frags, they got them early, they were continuous. Despite Visions winning the game, only a 19-point finish. They need to put up some more kills as the day goes on. Remember, this was the final drop for Group A. They will be sitting out as B and C continue next, Ellen.
Yeah, and I mean, for FaZe Clan, when they had such a hot start, that was a team that I was looking at like, hey, they need to pick some up. And not to mention they had prison control, but of course, for some of these squads holding down prison, it was hard for them.
Prison is a very difficult area.
That is the story, according to the watch parties. How many under-orgs or underdogs are going to make their way up the leaderboard? We take a look now at your overall team. Falcons, we said they would be the first team to 200, but look how quickly Virtus.pro has closed that gap.
Here's the other interesting part about this leaderboard, not just the names of the orgs and what order they're in, but keep in mind the total score that we've got. Match point on Saturday is 135. So we've played now 9 total games at least for drops, and only 5 teams have met that mark. So there is a level of, can you get to 135 quickly? But then, of course, the follow-up question is, can you actually win a game of Rebirth Island? So far, again, most of the top 5 have been able to provide that. Just comes down to being able to do it on a consistent basis.
Only 6 squads are over 100 kills, but a lot of our B squads were sitting out watching. They are ready to take this stage. If you're going to close the conversation on Group C, though, these are our final drops of the night. We have 3 left. So what do we need to see from Group C before we move over to the Group B discussion?
Inner Circle, first and foremost, a team we've been pumping up, are narrowly missing out on top 7.
Yeah.
They have a very real chance to do so. Noble Esports have been holding on tight, but the big question for the crowd favorite Gentlemates, will they be able to get into top 7 and go directly to finals, or will the LCQ be in their future?
Gromalok has been on top of his game. We saw some hero plays from that young man, though, and as we take a look at some of their big clips from Game 3, who had your eye, Taylor?
Game 3, without question, from the Gentlemates, it has to be Grama. I mean, obviously, he loves to pop off. Inkyo is also another star-studded player. One thing about Gentlemates you have to appreciate, and which shows their full potential, is their game number 1, fighting Mirror Sub, taking rooftop control, transferring over towards Bio. That showcase, they can make some solid plays. Their positioning, they got some big brains over there. I don't think this roster is done just yet, and I think there's plenty more potential left.
And if you're looking at their overall score at the end of day 1, Gentlemates had 47 kills. That was good for 59.6 points. They are now over 100 points after just 3 more drops. So they're playing at basically double the pace right now. Can they keep it up? What is the ceiling for our French squad now that the fans have their back?
I think it's just one of those things that we're now starting to remember that this team was picked up for a reason, but maybe even more importantly, we're forgetting the first couple of drops from yesterday.
Yes.
Looks like the jitters are out. They're feeling the confidence of the crowd. And when you've got not just Enkyo, not just Grau, but also Hollow getting the mix as one of their anchors, that is a team that can absolutely fry. The thing about it is they're continuing to land at a spot where they have to find early success. Otherwise, they can stall out quite significantly.
Dream, we were highlighting a team from Group A that has a huge fan base. They go by the name of FaZe Clan, and FaZe did not live up to our hype. One of the few squads we put the microscope on, and they kind of disappeared.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate too because, you know, obviously with the start that they had, it was devastating. I don't know if, you know, maybe they weren't feeling too well. I saw Flank tweet out a couple of interesting things about some food he ate, but
don't eat the late night pizza, guys.
Nonetheless, J-Tech, right? I look at him as being that like leading factor because over the years, I mean, you know, we've seen him in big map, small map. He's improved as a player, getting more vocal, getting more in the mix, but they had so much trouble holding this high ground here at Prison, and of course, transitioning off of it as the zone pulled. Clumsy was a lot into the mix in that factor, but it was so difficult.
It's difficult, right? When you look at Prison, you've got 5 teams that are going to be challenging you, plus that's one of the favorite rotations from the Falcons, Hisoka getting that watchtower. One of the things I do want to say, FaZe was relatively consistent in games 1 and 2. They dropped the ball in game 3, but if we notice, they do barely skate by in 7th place, but they're still on high alert. There's no guarantee FaZe is going to finish in top 7. They might be going to LCQ as well.
FaZe may be joined by another big Ord. We caught up with Fnatic. Here's what they had to say.
I'm here with Zach from Fnatic. So welcome to a beautiful night here in Riyadh. How's the day treating you so far?
The day's been good, yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
Now, you've had some challenges in the tournament so far. I mean, can you tell us anything about some of the teams you've been having some difficulty with and how you're keeping your game on track?
Well, compared to qualifiers, there's like a lot more teams playing for us off the rip. So we've got like Gentlemates, we've got Virtus Pro, and sometimes different teams just like trying to come over in the third party. So yeah, it's been tough, but yeah, it's all about like just winning the gunfights pretty much. So yeah.
The guns look hot. The guns look good. You've got a break now. What are you going to do in the break? What's the secret to staying cool?
Probably just watch the matches, like how the others play, see what they do, and yeah, just have a convo about the mistakes we made, and yeah, that's it pretty much. Nothing special.
Nothing too crazy, maybe a coffee or two, but mate, thank you so much. How are you enjoying Riyadh so far?
Yeah, Riyadh's amazing. Like I'm here like 2nd time already, and like everything around here is just amazing. Like the hotel, like the whole boulevard here is just wow, it's crazy.
It's a lot, Zach. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Good luck. Enjoy the break.
Thank you so much.
All right, it's great to hear from our players. He will get a moment to reset and rest as they watch the rest of the competition. Group A is going to be sitting out and watching. The other 2 groups are very much in action. And before we get to our leaderboard, I want to get your thoughts. We saw Group A and C at the start of the day. Who do you think is on top of the individual kill leaderboard?
I'm going to go with Dongy. I think
Dongy
it's
from Virtus Pro?
Yeah, from his first map, he was obviously putting up insane numbers, and Virtus Pro have had solid finishes, and they're 2nd and 3rd today. So my wager would go towards Dongy, but there could be some sneakers in there.
Enkyo was at 19 going into game 3. Let's see where he lands after 3 drops from groups A and C. Dongy is right. Well done. 24. And then, of course, you got to give a shout out to Javix right behind him in the number 2 spot. Enkyo drops to 3, and Noobs from Virtus Pro will join Dongy in our top 4, Dream Crazy.
Yeah, which we love seeing Noobs get into the mix. We're so used to seeing him like as an anchor player, I feel like in the past, but he's been frying with an LC10.
Without a doubt, and even Aiden sneaking into the top 10 despite maybe a slow start for Twisted Minds, he still slays out. But one thing that I see is missing, where'd the Fnatic members go, right? They were up there, they had 2 members towards the bottom. This time around, nobody to be found.
It's been a struggle city for some of our big names. The good news is no one goes out on day number 2, and I want to get your takes, chat. Let me know, who do you expect to fall short of their expectations through our group stages? For now, we got more hot takes from our casters, gentlemen.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into Hot Takes presented by Dr. Suleiman Al Habib. We're here at Call of Duty Warzone Day 2. And Enigma, I don't know, what's your hot take for Day 2?
So I'm going with that FaZe Clan will actually make it through to the grand finals on Saturday. But it's the reason for that I think is the hottest bit. They did very well in their first 3 games, struggled in their last 3. So that is an obvious adjustment. You've got to fix up your matches against Group C. I think they make those. However, also, I think the Twisted Minds don't make it. I think they have to play LCQs. I think Falcons are going to land on them all day today, make it a living hell, and force them into that Friday matchup.
Well, my hot take, very similar to yours, actually. I think for Twisted Minds, it's actually better to play through that LCQ to be able to get to the finals. You're going to have more reps against half of this lobby. You're going to have a better understanding of how people like to play. And if we know anything about Allman, the IGL, he loves having every bit of information he needs to how to be able to make that call, to be able to have the right play. I love your hot take. I think that we're going to be pretty excited to see this happen here today. Let's head it back to the studio.
Some spice there from our casters as they get ready to jump in the booth. We're going to have a whole bunch of new players taking the stage. And Alan, before we go to break, why should everyone stay tuned for the Group B squads coming up next?
Well, because, first of all, Papa Puckett said so. But 2, are we actually going to see a proving ground for 5 Fears?
Ooh.
Lots of spice on Twitter. We see you.
They proved it in game number 9. It's not a fluke. They had a little bit of rust, but that rust has been dusted off. Can they come out hot? We'll find out after the break.
snakes and ladder. My XP's got my new ones better. Playground, bitches got a ring and fit the safe now. They say you're pretty bad, but I don't wanna cage out. It's a playground, telling me mine, I don't play about. I tell them rise up, used to cry, river shit done dried up. I lost a couple bros on the climb up, I don't mind but ain't lost nothing in mine, cause it's a playground. Better watch your man staying safe out. See some play game like snakes and ladder. My XP's got my new ones better. Playground, better watch your man staying safe out. See some play game like snakes and ladder. My XP's got my new ones better. My new one's bad, he ain't entertained, he don't move like that. Tell him move right back, put shots over time, let her shoot right back. Robust, you can tell how we move like that. It's a playground, bitches got a ring and fit it safe now. I see a pretty bird, but I don't wanna cage out. There's bad games on the road like a playground, like a playground. It's a playground, better watch your man's getting safe out. See some play game like snakes and ladder. My XP's come on, new ones better. It's a playground, better watch your man's getting safe out. See some play game like snakes and ladder. My XP's come on, new ones better.
Supposed to heal. Why do I feel like I've been here for hours and hours? The pain that's in my throat continues to grow. They say it'll get better. How can they know if time's supposed to heal? Why do I feel like I've been here for hours? They say it'll get better. How can they know?
What's up, everybody? It's the Esports World Cup. I'm Mr. EWC, a.k.a. Puckett. I'm alongside I Hold Shift. We got Dream Crazy and Reflections, and we just witnessed our first 3 drops from Group A and Group C. So half of their day is done, but Group B hasn't even started. And if you were watching yesterday, Group B won 5 of their 6 drops, Alan.
Yeah, it was good. I think that's just the easy way to say it. I think the thing about it was there were a couple of teams that had slow starts and then really thwarted all of our questions, like 100 Thieves, for instance, after having a tough couple of drops. Then they come out, find a major win, one of our top tallies from the day yesterday. So good stuff for bounce backs from Group B.
Now, VKA won 2 of those, but the team that finished on top of the scoreboard from Group B was 100 Thieves. Dream Crazy, any surprises here? Is this the expectation you had coming into day 2?
I think it's a lot of our expectations, right? These guys were looking pretty good. I mean, even into the qualifiers, but it was really their game 9 where we saw Blast, Skullface, and Gabe Kun, but it was a final play that Skullface actually had made, which, you know, we've seen him last year, and I think about Skullface as a player. This is a team that wants to win, like barely losing out in second place under Fnatic last year at EWC. So just for that win for them when they were basically on that bubble bubble of like not even qualifying, I think that win really did elevate them, you guys. And going into today, they're feeling pretty confident, and I think they found their groove.
They're currently in 8th place. They haven't played on day 2, and they're already sitting at 114 points. How high is their score going to be at the end of these 3 drops? What pace do you want to see them keep?
I think they clear top 7 no problem.
Okay.
The thing that I want to see is, can they continue to just finish in the top 5? They've really proved in the last 3 games that they have the potential of winning. Of course, they won one of their drops, but they finished in the top 3 in the other 2.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing about it. We talk about how Falcons won last year. They're always in the mix at the end of the game. We've seen that now from Virtus Pro. Can 100 Thieves also piggyback and do the same thing?
Honestly, for me, if you wanted a direct answer, I'm thinking 170 plus. That's what I think they're going to be sitting at. 170 plus. 100 Thieves, especially going against Group C, I think they're just better than everyone in the lobby.
So averaging about 20 points a game is the goal. What about Rock Esports, a team that started off with the very first win of EWC 2025? Let's take a look at the lads coming over from the other side of the pond. We got Wars, of course, who is one of the OGs, but he's not the top fragger so far. Who else is popping off on this squad?
Oh, you got Vision. Vision is incredible. Prodigy as well. This roster came in as regarded as the best EU team, and they have not, of course, disappointed in those expectations. And Rock is a roster that could very well knock the likes such as FaZe, such as Twisted Minds outside of top 7, which would be a tremendous upset for Rock. I know the fans are not disappointed. I haven't been disappointed in their performance.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've been performing so well. And, I mean, with an average placement of 7, yeah, you maybe want to make that a little bit higher, but it's just those ones, the engagements that they're winning. And that, of course, in a respawn mode, you got to win your ones.
And, of course, we are looking at the numbers. This team dropped 69 kills on day number 1. But 26 bonus points. They're able to get those high placements, look for those bonuses to come into play. Rock playing with a lot of confidence. They've got a lot of fans, and they know they're very much in the club championship run. We talked to Wars before the game.
ROC, Wars, mate, welcome to day 2. Day 1 started strong, a little bit of a fizzle out towards the end. What happened there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, the first game of like the last series we did pretty good, and then things just changed. I think a couple teams just gave up the chemical landing spot, so VP just had it for free, and we basically just allowed them we just gave them too much map control towards our spot.
Difficult to wrangle that sort of thing back, isn't it, in a tournament like this? What's the change for today? Any massive changes? Any small changes? Anything you're willing to share with the folks at home?
I mean, one of the main changes is just the way that I'm going to be anchoring it and stuff like that, and just making sure that they don't get as much, map control and stuff as they have on us. And if they do want to push up to us, make sure that, it's not as easy as it was for them yesterday.
Nothing for free. You're digging your heels in. Absolutely love it, mate. I mean, let's take it back, to you. Less the game, more about yourself. Are you enjoying your time here in Saudi Arabia? Are you, a bit more acclimatized? You having a good night of sleep?
Yeah, no, it's been pretty good. I don't know. I have been feeling quite tired as well. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I think it's just catching up with me a bit. But I mean, I did come here a few days earlier and stuff too. But yeah.
Mate, right on. Well, we wish you the best of luck, sir. Good luck in today's play. Thank you, mate.
We'll be looking for that Rock versus Virtus Pro showdown, but there is another battle in these groups we want to focus in on. It's our S&B match of the day, as VKA was able to walk away with 2 victories last night. They're going up against Group C winner in Inner Circle.
That's some good company to be in if you're VKA. 2 wins puts you right alongside teams like Falcons. Now, again, their wins are a little different than Falcons were, but regardless of it, the expectations were 0, and now all of a sudden, it's the pretense of can they do enough in their next 6 games to get over that 7th place hurdle.
And that's the big thing, 6 games, whereas Inner Circle, they only have 3. They've got to make the most of it.
Stage is ready. It is time to drop in. Ladies and gentlemen, drop 4 of 9 here on day number 2.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are saying bis später to Group A. We are saying bonjour to Group B as well. The Gentlemates, they finally have a little bit of French competition joining them here in our next series of the day. Dandro Cass here on the mic with my best buddy, Enigma. Enigma, as we get ready for these next 3 games, what are we thinking?
I'm thinking God bless Google Translate for starters, but of course, we're looking at a couple of stories here as one of these squads will be, well, a couple of these squads will not be making it through to finals. They'll have to play in through LCQs. Of course, this is going to be our Group C teams. I just kind of set the stage of where that's looking, by the way. Virtus Pro, you are currently inside that top 7, looking pretty. Team Vision, same story. Novo, same story. AG Global, it's been tough for you. You're not even close to the picture right now. Gentlemate's on a bit of a resurgence, but they've got to close the deal here. EXO, Inner Circle, they sit just outside of that top 7. So this could be a huge passage of play for them.
Goj and Ton saw a lot of action in those first 3 games, especially with teams like the Falcons in the lobby. But now that the Falcons are out and we are bringing in some other heavy hitters, I wonder, will we see the same level of pace and aggression that we saw from a couple of those teams, or are we going to see the pace of the lobby maybe change a little bit? Obviously, we have heavy hitters, like the Des mentioned, 100 Thieves coming on into this lobby. It was a rough start to their day yesterday, but I was really happy with what I saw on that back half, and I think they learned a lot, right? And kind of we had a chance to talk with Ebate's coach and some of the members of the squad, and they were basically saying, listen, we knew that we were going to get contested control. We didn't realize how contested we were about to be, and those first couple games felt very mixy to them. I think they have their ability to make those changes. They have their ability to make those different plays across the map. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be game number 4, our first game, second series of the day, Group B versus Group C. The play line is set. The circle is here. Our players are ready to go. So let's hop on in.
Now players descend from the skies then. Of course, for 7 of these squads, you're feeling quite warm. But the other 7 is about finding your footing in the early stages. Circle is going to pull hard towards the northeast. In particular, that could lead us towards the likes of industries, chemical, bioweapons, or maybe the far side of prison. But it's off to Control to get things started. We know how busy it's been over here. And Skullface and Co, you're going to be contested heavily, very early by Movistar Koi.
Yeah, 100 Thieves and Movistar Koi. Feeling a little bit like peanut butter and jelly from how much we see them.
They love each other.
They do love each other. We're already seeing some hot aggression. All 3 members of 100 Thieves will surge on 4. Net odds done and dusted, immediately dropped, and they are just continuing to run as a 3. You can see a couple flash traps coming on out as Volcom. He tries to find one. He's at least able to bring down Skull, but some early selves will make sure that he can be able to get a lot of that self-revive started before getting tapped by a teammate. So just like that, this fight looked very different yesterday. Enigma already here in game number 4. Seems like